Here we go now.
So I shared with you my morning skincare routine. Now I'm sharing my nighttime skincare routine, brought to you by our friends over at Buttah. Over the last several weeks, we've partnered with Buttah and I've been utilizing their skincare routine and I have been loving it. So let me share with you my nighttime skincare routine. It's very simple and it's made even simpler by our friends over at Buttah. First, I start off with their cleanser. Wash your face with their cleanser. Then I use their silky soft towel, which I love. I love. They're disposable. They are quality. You shouldn't be using the same towel that you use to dry your body on your face. And then I'm using their retinol. People don't understand the benefits of retinol. Smaller pores, youthful skin. A lot of people don't even utilize this. You should. All you need next is their Cocoa Shea Moisturizer. As I've said before, they've made my routine a lot simpler because I've had to use a different morning moisturizer versus what I use at night. With their Cocoa Shea Moisturizer, I can utilize it for my morning and my evening. I just put a little bit less on in the morning. At night, I put a little bit more. And that's it for my nighttime routine. One of the other big questions that people have asked me, is there a scent in the moisturizer? Very light scent. The other question people have asked me, is Buttah Black owned? Not only is it Black owned, their president is a Black woman. But of course, you also ask, can we get a discount? Of course, get 10% off when you use my link, buttahskin.com/Kempire. More information on Buttah will be available in the description. Thanks, Buttah. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Kempire channel, your #1 source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Be sure to like the video if you haven't already, and be sure to subscribe. It is a subscribers only live chat. Shout out to our King's Guard, shout out to our channel members. Become a member today at TheKempire.com/join. And again, for more details on Buttah, my skincare routine this morning, will be available in the description. If you're watching on TikTok, you can also find it in our TikTok shop as well, along with some other really cool items that we have there. All right, shout out to everyone watching on Twitch and Twitter as well, and those of you watching on Facebook. Shout out to our YouTube fam as well. I see everyone's reactions already to last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you had to rate this week's episode, how would you rate it? Here's the thing. It doesn't just take drama to make a good episode. And yes, we had some drama in this episode. That doesn't mean for me that the episode was great. I've already told you I'm keeping an open mind and an open heart for this season, but episode 4 I'm in and I'm like, hey, Shamea. I was thinking about you, Shamea. Text me. Although I came in with an open heart, we're on episode 4 and I'm like, okay. One of my major problems this season is the editing. The editing feels a little choppy, feels like they're trying to do something new, but it's not landing. You know what I mean? Even a lot of the scenes were sort of like quick. Like before I know, I'm like, okay, so we are on to the next scene. I was like, okay, is that what we're doing? Fine. Okay, it was just okay for me this episode. I'm not done with it. Again, I'm probably grading Real Housewives of Atlanta on a curve because of how bad Real Housewives of New York was. Why did Glad give Roni an award? Are we just giving out awards for people that have gay people on the show? Again, a lot of these awards are PR driven. So that for me is a perfect example of that. Also, RHOP being nominated for an NAACP award. For what? They had one good season without colorism? Okay, fine. But Roni won a GLAAD award for what? What? Oh, they had two lesbians on one season. Let's give them an award. Okay, fine. All right. How do we get to about Roni? Oh, because I was talking about I'm grading Real Housewives of Atlanta on a curve because of how bad Roni was. But okay, I'm still keeping an open mind. But was Kenya more vindicated in this week's episode? We're going to talk about that. But I told you, it felt weird that Britt has continuously talked about Kenya since Shamea's birthday party. It was like, okay, did we miss something? It feels like we're missing something because it doesn't make sense at all why why Britt has such a bone with Kenya. Wait, I saved some screenshots that I wanted to share with you guys. I have to censor myself. And we will be recapping Married to Medicine today at 4 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Let me just send these to myself because these are some tweets that Kenya shared last night. And she says that there really was no other issue. It really was just what happened at Shamea's birthday party. So that doesn't make sense, Britt. So it sounds like you were the thirsty one to trying to have a moment, trying to haze an OG. That's the vibe it's giving. And look, if you had brought something else in these first 3 episodes, I'd be like, okay, yes, Britt is still interesting. She has a bone to pick with Kenya for no reason. But there's nothing redeeming so far about Britt that makes me want Britt to come back next season. I'm just like, okay, what's going on with you and your screw-faced husband? It looks like you might be the problem. Not just when it comes to the whole Kenya of it all. You might be the problem when it comes to the issues with your own family. Because that was also part of her story this week. Michael is hitting you up over and over again. He sounds very insecure. Why is he hitting you up so constantly? Why is he getting between you and your sisters? And look, that stuff happens. We saw in the very first scene. Let me get in order. In the very first scene, you and Angela talk about how Angela has a similar issue. But it sounds like you might be the problem. It sounds like Mike might be the problem. Him and his screw face. All the time. The way he was hitting her up, like that's not normal. You're out with your sister. Why can't you be out with your sister and him not hit you up, especially when he knows that you have issues with your sister? Why is he constantly hitting you up? Is he concerned that you might cheat on him or something? Just asking. All right, let's get back in order. So Angela and Britt meet up. They're going to do a little bit of workout. I didn't see one workout besides workout outfits. That's all I saw. I saw them walking. She was walking her dog, who was in a carriage. All right. So Angela opens up about her own issues with her sister and her mom. Her mom apparently got really comfortable. I'm not surprised. When Angela has a lot going on, especially when we see what's happening next week's episode. There's a lot of stuff going on in Angela's personal story. And now everyone's speculating because the flashback, Mad B's brought up what Wendy Williams said on her daytime talk show about speaking with Angela Oakley back then. This was what, 2017, I think it's from? I think? Well, it was a while ago. And Wendy spilled that Angela admitted to her because she was like, talking about Wendy's own issue with Kelvin having a side baby. She was like, she admitted that, yeah, Charles Oakley had a side baby. I know she's now telling the blogs that that's not true. You could check the child's birth date on social media, but no one can seem to find that. Girl, be honest with your story because these Bravo investigators are going to find out. Just be honest. There are plenty of people in your situation that have been in relationships where the person has cheated, maybe had a side baby, and they've decided to stay. If that's your choice, that's your choice. At least stand on it. Don't lie about it now because people are going to do the math. Okay? Maybe that's why she said in what was last week's episode? Angela said that in the beginning of the relationship, they were separated because of the banning at MSG, at Madison Square Garden here in New York City. So I think she was sort of setting us up for that. And I'm like, no, just be honest, Angela. Be honest. Because we're going to figure it out. We're not dumb. The audience is not dumb. Don't play us for fools. So I think I need you to get ahead of the story now and just be honest. And again, remember when Wendy Williams, I believe Wendy, when Wendy was telling this story, Angela Oakley wasn't on Housewives. There would really be no reason for her to lie on this person that no one really knew about, besides her being married to Charles Oakley. Anyway, so Angela talked about her own issues with her sister and her mom. Her mom has issues with Charles because she decided they got into a big argument. So I'm not surprised by that. Charles has a big personality. We haven't met her mother yet. I'm sure we probably will this season, maybe. And two big personalities, when you get too comfortable with each other, I'm not surprised that there was some sort of argument that led to friction in the family. Okay? So Britt talks about how her dad died. Her dad had a blood clot and he died on the couch. She says the family has never been the same because all of them were daddy's girls. So she talks about the tumultuous relationship that she has with her own sister. All right. One thing I do like about Angela, and this is what I said last week in regards to her issues with Shamea, she seemed to go in with her conversation with Shamea wanting to resolve it. And even after what went down, her talking about her nose and on all of this, even with all of that going down, she's still telling Britt, I think we just got off on the wrong foot. And she wants to hash it out with Shamea. And I was like, this is what I can appreciate about Angela, but she's a Taurus. And I'm not, look, you know, we drag Tauruses too. Tauruses on reality television aren't that great. The only great one that we have right now is, well, she's not on reality television right now, is Candy. Everyone else has failed us. Every single one. Drew, Quad, Dr. Gregory, Kim Zolciak. The list goes on and on. Like, there really aren't a lot of great Tauruses on reality television. Oh, okay. Nay says, y'all got Shamea. I'm on the fence with Shamea. I am on the fence. Like, I like Shamea, but I'm still kind of on the fence with Shamea. Especially with this beef with Angela, because it felt forced. It felt too forced for me. Okay? So Angela says she wants to hash it out. Then Britt brings up Kenya. It doesn't make sense. Britt, you need to get out on social media or do an interview. Not with me. I'm not interested. Because it's not making sense, your obsession with Kenya. You're mad at Kenya still from what she said during Shamea's birthday party? You're still mad at her because of that? That's weird. That is so strange. I had the same question. So you would have been mad at me threatening pistols and whips? What the hell you got whips for? Okay. Leftover from your video vixen days? Okay, fine. Like, I don't understand the obsession. And I said, maybe there's something that we're missing. Maybe there's something that was left on the cutting room floor. Bravo, truly original. I don't know what y'all were thinking, because now the fans are even more mad at you.
What is this, honey?
The fans are even more mad at you now. Because they're like, you fired Kenya, even though Kenya, because everyone keeps running with that, Kenya says that she was not fired. Word on the street, Kenya disagreed with how they were handling the investigation. Now that's making more and more sense. And I know everyone now, the team tour is like, Kenya Moore is always vindicated. We're going to talk about that in a bit, okay? We're going to be talking about that next week too, okay? So Britt's obsession with this, remember, like episode after episode, we're only on episode 4, and she's still talking about an issue that seems non-existent. Kenya's probably over at her house twirling with Brooklyn, and you over here in every scene talking about Kenya and a comment that she made. And remember, there were some people that called in and they felt like Kenya was hazing Britt. And I was like, okay, maybe it was a little light shade, but it was light shade. Not enough for Britt to still be talking about this how many weeks later. And I got my receipts from what Kenya posted on social media. Wait, actually, let me bring up one of the receipts. Please hold. Let me just see if I can bring up, because Kenya, let me see. Okay. So Kenya on Twitter last night, because Kenya's been busy. And I don't know if Bravo likes the fact that she's been busy on social media. But you know, she doesn't have confessionals. So she has to use whatever platform to get her story out there. So I can't even blame Kenya for tweeting up a storm and trending yet again. Let me just bring this up for you guys because it's important. Please and hold. Let me see. Because there were a few things that Kenya said that I wanted to talk about. Okay, in regards to the context, let me just bring this up for you guys really quickly. So Kenya posted this on her social media in response to what this person says before. This says, Kenya, we are dying. We are dying. Exactly. We have absolutely no context. So Kenya responds and says, babe, there is no context. All right. There is no context, no other interaction, no prior meetings, no gossip, nothing. So that is even more weird. So she was trying to have a moment with Kenya because Kenya is such a big name on this show and usually is depicted as the big villain. So that was one of the things that Kenya said on social media in regards to Britt. I'm going to bring up another one. So, okay, so let me actually make this small so you can see the full statement of what Kenya said. Okay. And there were probably quite a few more tweets that Kenya mentioned on Twitter yesterday. Are we still on Twitter? Twitter is still so toxic. Y'all still mad over there about the Garcelle of it all. Y'all can stay mad. And all you mother fathers that think Garcelle was, okay, this is not about Garcelle Kempire, but all you mother fathers that think Garcelle was fired, y'all been waiting to call her the N-word, and this is the only way that you can. I'm sorry. It's the only way that y'all can. We'll talk more about it next week. Okay? Not next week, this week. So Kenya continues, and Kenya says, being the longest standing RHOA member threatened with whips and pistols by a newcomer 3 weeks into filming, seeing this obsession play out is scary. I wanted protection and assurances that the threats would be taken seriously. I may be strong, but I'm not bulletproof. We're going to revisit that tweet when we talk more about what plays out at the end of this episode, okay? All right, guys, if you haven't already, we already have over 2,400 of you watching on YouTube and Facebook. How about we get to at least 1,000 likes? Let me say thank you because we also had a couple of super chats. We appreciate that support. And shout out to those of you that send in Venmo, Cash Apps, PayPals, all of that. We appreciate that support because that goes directly to us. Okay, but we appreciate the super chats as well because you want your voices heard. Roots says, good afternoon, Kempire. Good afternoon to you too. Thank you for that. Shasha, thank you for being a member and for the super chat. Shasha says they need to stop hiring fans because that is what people are saying in regards to Britt. At this particular point, everyone that you put new on reality television is probably going to be a quote fan. So that is hard. That is hard to kind of ignore at this particular point. This is why it's probably good to refresh casts and not use the same people for year after year after year because that gets tired as well. But let me get back to this. So Britt brings up the whole Kenya stuff again to Angela. And she says that Kenya has been really snooty to her. She says that apparently at the Balmain event that Kelli had, that we didn't see. And I'm wondering why we didn't see it, why maybe I guess they wanted to focus on one particular thing and not a lot of different things. They wanted to focus on the Porsha and the Drew and the Shamea and the Angela of it all. But apparently Kenya and Britt had a conversation at the Beaumont event that Kelli hosted. And maybe they're probably thinking, this is not that big of a deal. Why would we show this? But hopefully they will flash back. Remember, I told you Cynthia Bailey confirmed that they are going to be doing RHOA after shows. I wonder now, I'm assuming not because Kenya's been tweeting up a storm. I'm wondering if they will bring Kenya in to do the after show. At this particular point, you have to bring her to the reunion. There's no way that you could talk about this stuff and not bring Kenya to the reunion. I'm not sitting here saying that what Kenya did in retaliation is correct. What I'm saying is if we want to resolve this issue properly, you have to bring Kenya there. You have to. Look, I'm a little concerned that there wasn't any sort of investigation and this woman is talking about whips and pistols on camera before this even escalated to what it escalated to. So you guys didn't intervene then. We have to remember, yes, you're watching a show of entertainment, but this still is a work environment. And if that happened in my work environment in corporate America, you might be more than, okay, maybe you wouldn't lose your job, but you would definitely be written up. Every place is different. Some people have zero tolerance for stuff like that, and you probably would lose your job. You probably should, because it wasn't just one time. Okay? It wasn't just one time that Britt said, I brought my pistol. And now whips and things, and then you're yelling all of this craziness. It was like, are you doing this for cameras? Even though you're saying, F all these cameras. It was weird. I know I'm jumping ahead. I can't help it. It was weirdo behavior, Britt. Weirdo behavior. I don't get it. And I keep asking for more context, but I'm clear that there wasn't any context. You just seemed obsessed to have a moment. It makes no sense. Maybe you just wanted, look, and I have to say, of all the people that were starting, she seemed to be the only one on social media that people were talking a lot about beforehand, before all of the Kenya drama. And I was like, it's giving Love and Hip Hop a little bit, but I was like, I'm intrigued. And what we've gotten from her so far, based off of editing, isn't anything interesting. Isn't a personality that's interesting. You know who is interesting? Kelli. Ooh. Kelli's interesting, but we'll get to Kelli in a second. But I heard when I went into the Atlanta streets that Kelli's storyline is dynamic, and we are getting into that slowly but surely. All right, so Shamea is outside lounging in her Gucci by the pool, Gucci top, Gucci hat, and they're mowing the lawn next door. And her sister comes over and she's like, I want to play my song for you. Okay, so I get it. This is an opportunity. Shamea has been trying to be on this show for a long time. She's finally got her opportunity and she wants to make the most of it. She would be a fool not to. And she is a talented singer. All right. So RL, RL from the group Next, he writes. He's been writing for years, not just in his group, but for a lot of different people. So apparently he wrote the song, and it's a good song, but you know what it felt for me, and I've said this before, it's not a bad song, but you could tell that it was a song, like I need a song to put out while this is airing. So that's what it felt like. It didn't feel like there was time and I was just talking about this over the weekend in regards to Drew Sidora's project. Drew Sidora's project is not just some everyday housewives project. It's actually, you could tell they took the time, put her story in it. It's probably the one time that Drew Sidora has told the truth. Lies! The lie! Candy! It's probably the one time that Drew has told the truth, and it's in her music. So if you want to know Drew's truth, listen to her new album. I love it. I like it. They're not paying me for it, but they should. No, they don't. I'm kidding. I'm being facetious. Calm down. It's a good project. I did a whole little video talking about it because everyone kept on saying, it's a good song. It's a good album. Blah, blah. I said, all right, let me listen for myself. As someone that is a singer, a songwriter, managed artist, has commentated on music and albums and things like that before, I said, let me give it a listen while we were having 80-degree weather for a hot second in New York over the weekend. And I listened. I was like, okay, Drew, let me body roll to this. All right, Drew. And what also got me intrigued was the scene they did in the studio last week. And I was like, that's not a bad song. And then this week they played another song, Chicago Slide. I was like, we already know Drew can sing, but there are plenty of people that can sing that don't have the it factor or are not successful in this business for whatever reason. All right. So I say all that today. Shamea plays her song for her sister. Great song. It's a nice song. Again, I don't think it's going to necessarily have the impact yes, it will have the impact amongst Bravo fans, but it's not going to have the impact when it comes to music and breaking that down. But if she's serious, and she's been doing music a long time, she talks about being in groups with Carrie Hilson and Shamari and things like that over the years. All right. Notable groups. Okay. Well, notable to some people. Some people are like, I've never heard of that group. To some people, those groups, or at least they had like a song. All right. All right. Tika says, every time you do a live standing up, you be cutting up Kempire. Maybe I should sit down for the Married to Medicine one, because we have things to talk about with Married to Medicine. Woo, we got things to talk about. All right. Okay. So Shamea plays a song for her sister. Her sisters are lovely. They're supporting their sister as they should. Okay. So she plays a song for them. She talks about her experience in the music world. She says, I want to play it for the girls. I don't know why, but again, cameras. This is why. So we will get back to that. They go into the confessional because she talks about Angela inviting her to this black attire event, okay, at the bank. All right. And she's like, I was surprised, because if it was me, I wouldn't have invited me. But now she's feeling bad for some of the things that she said about Angela's face, okay, and her nose job, okay? Okay. So she, in her confessional, and look, I think normally the shade is funny. Like what she said, the nose is mine. It was that was funny. I think because for me, you might feel differently, and that's okay. But for me, because Angela at Beaumont went to her and was like, I'd like to have a conversation. I'd like for us to move on. And so it felt like Shamea was trying to have beef when there really was no beef. And now, even in this moment in the confessional, to continue that beef when there really is no beef. So now you're just looking petty for no reason. But the nose is mine, and then the joke's funny, but it felt like it's feeling forced. It's feeling like someone's feeding you these lines. Just saying, that's my opinion. Okay, but I'm glad they get over it in this episode. Because if Angela was keeping it going, then I could understand Shamea keeping it going. But it felt like it was a one-sided beef. And I was like, come on, you both are Tauruses. You like each other. You just don't know it yet, okay? Queen B More says, when Shamea says, beat it, I fell out. Patricia says, when she said beat it after apologizing to Shamea. Yeah. Okay. Simply says, it was fun shade. Yeah. But at the same time, again, it felt like this woman is trying to make peace with you, because really even the thing that you're arguing about wasn't that deep. But okay. Veronique says the joke is over like their beef. But I'm glad that it's over. I'm glad that it's over. Fine. All right. All right. Let's talk about Porsha, because we got to revisit the Porsha and Shamea of it all. Porsha, we'll get there. Porsha meets with her team. Why did this scene feel? Because she couldn't film. We have to keep in mind, Porsha could not film in her house, the house that she shares with Simon. During the season, she only got access to the house, access to the money, after filming ended, pretty much. Okay? So Porsha meets with her team in a closet somewhere. Where was this? Where was this closet? And it was clear to me that Porsha had this meeting because she needed to talk about something other than what she was meant to talk about, and that's her fabulous relationship with Simon Guobadia. Okay? And she meets with her team. Londi was there. May Londi rest in peace. If you watch Porsha's Family of Lies, you know who Londi is. Londi didn't say much at this meeting. I think Londi, very much like she's always been with Porsha, being supportive. Okay? Roman said, wait. Let me get this comment. Roman says, Kempire, are you a part of Porsha's HR department? No. Because we would have problems all the time if I was a part of Porsha's corporate HR department. Can you imagine? Porsha goes to me. You know what I do like about Porsha? Look. Calm down, y'all. Porsha unblocked him, so he's not saying. Please calm down, because Porsha will block me by the end of the season. So Porsha, what I do like about Porsha in this scene, Porsha's not afraid to wear something again. Like that Chanel outfit we've seen. She wore that on Watch What Happens Live. And don't y'all, because some of y'all will make fun of that. No, it's a cute outfit and it looks cute on her. I like that we can normalize these celebrities, Bravo celebrities, wearing the same outfit over again. Why not? Why not? I just noticed it because I was like, oh, I actually like that outfit on her. It's cute. So she meets with her team. One of her team is actually a music executive. Okay. So Aisha reminds us that Londi passed away last August. Mind you, that's only a few months from the scene. Remember, they were filming, like, we were talking about Shamea's birthday in May. This scene was probably in June. So Londi passed away a couple months later. Rest in peace, Londi. You were the only person that we liked from a Porsha's family of lies. All right. Wait, hold on. Let's see your comment here. Soraya says, I thought Porsha was the only person in her HR department. Porsha, I will say, Porsha had me giggle a couple of times in this week's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And Porsha meets with her team to talk about, she says that she wanted to retire at the age of 40. If you have to start working after you've left your husband, that says to me your plan for retirement was based off of someone else and not what you've achieved. Yes, we know Porsha's been on Atlanta. She's made a good coin. She also launched this sheets. I didn't realize she didn't have anything besides sheets. So she's now talking about wanting to expand into other things with Pampered by Porsha. Okay. Then they talk about the Go Naked hair, and they talk about Drew, because Drew is an ambassador. And she says, Go Naked is a separate corporation. That's when we find out that Porsha is the corporation, meaning that she's all the representatives, and corporate needs to talk with Drew because she's not doing certain things that are within her contract. I guess filming a scene on this reality show without her permission. Okay. But Porsha says that she wants to, first of all, rewinding back, Porsha, in regards to wanting to retire at the age of 40, she says she wants to build, that she is building a $1 billion brand. Okay. All right. Back to Drew. So she says she needs to sit down with Drew to discuss, what she's doing in regards to Go Naked hair. That's when Porsha's team, one of the people in her team that's also a music executive, says that Drew reached out to him to work. And he was like, and he said that Dennis reached out to him as well. And he was just like, when did Dennis become Quincy Jones? Well, let me tell you something. It's one thing everyone can make jokes about Dennis McKinley wanting to be a music producer. But let me tell you something. He did that with Drew's album. I'm going to start calling him Q. I'm going to call him Lil Q. He did it. He proved us wrong. The project is solid. So they bring that up in regards to Drew reaching out to someone else in Porsha's team. See, that's the thing, Drew. People have accused you, even Candace has accused you of shaky behavior in regards to just, not even shaky, sneaky behavior is a better word. So I'm noticing a pattern with you that's a little, suspect. Out of respect of Porsha, even though she claims that she's reached out to Porsha, she sent text messages to Porsha, blah, 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 blah. You could just send a text message and say, Porsha, can I work with this particular person? I want to reach out to him. And then at least you would have that for your proof with us. I reached out. I sent her a text, and she never responded. Tiffany says he's a little Jermaine Dupri. Okay, the album's good, but I ain't gonna go that. I know I shouldn't even call him a little Q. But the album is good. All right. If you haven't checked it out, be sure to check it out. They're not paying me, but they should. You don't get free promo on this. We got like 3,000 people here. We have over 3,000 people here. Plus, how many people watching on Twitter and Twitch? Okay. And how many of y'all watching on TikTok? Ain't get no free promo over here. Enough. Moving on. All right. So again, very much like all the other scenes, we move from this scene, even though this was a cute scene. Porsha gave me what I've enjoyed about Porsha over the years in regards to just these little quirky, ditzy, intentionally ditzy. It's okay. This is not calling her dumb. But like intentionally ditzy, funny moments. Okay. Drea says, now Kempire, calling Dennis cute is a stretch. I was being facetious. Calm down, y'all. Don't take everything that I say seriously. All right. I only said that because of what Porsha's friend said in that scene in regards to when did he become Quincy Jones. Okay. All right. Moving on from there, again, guys, if you haven't already, we have over 3,000 views, but not 1,000 likes. Members will get access to the call-in link first today. But I will drop the call-in link for the general audience, but with 3,000 people, we're going to need quite a few more likes. Chrissy, thank you so much for the super chat. Chrissy says, Kenya was wrong for what she did. Also, her combo with Kelli spoke volumes about why she went so far. She's terrified about not being able to provide for her child and is desperate to make sure she can. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But first, we got to talk about Drew and Ralph at home. V, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. V says it's giving baddies of Atlanta, no class. Marie, thank you so much for the super chat. Marie says Kenya has been physically attacked and now an implied threat of her being pow-powed. She might have a lawsuit. She's not safe with Bravo. I mean, that was a rumor on the street that Kenya was going to sue Bravo. However, she's been in conversation with them. I don't see her making that move because she knows that she sues them, then she doesn't have a future with the network. And I think for Kenya, she sees a bigger future with the network. She would much rather work for her coin as opposed to suing for her coin, because that could take several years. And also in her contract, there's an arbitration agreement, I'm sure, very much like there was a Nene. So it would go into mediation. Again, she'd much rather work with Bravo as opposed to sue them. But you never know. Based on what I saw last night, I was like, well, how'd you get rid of her and Britt is still there? That seems like an HR nightmare, but okay. Zakia, thank you so much for the super chat. Zakia says, has anyone brought up the rap sheet on Britt's husband? I've seen screenshots in a post comment somewhere on socials, but never saw anything again. Okay. I mean, we've heard rumors. Again, these are allegations. We can't prove them, but he moved funny, so it wouldn't shock me. Angie, thank you so much for the super chat. Angie says, you can't police my response after threatening me. Yes, you can. Okay, let's talk about this. Yes, you can. If you are in a work environment, I know we're watching a reality TV show, but you are still in a work environment. Can you imagine going to your job and someone gave you a threat and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm going to do something else to them? You both will be in trouble. But I don't understand why Britt did not have any sort of ramifications for what she said. But we also got to stop that, because I see so many people on social media saying that, and I'm like, no, folks, you are still in a work environment. I get it. If your sister did that to you on social media, you can be like, boom, I'm gonna expose this, but not at the work environment. In the work environment, you can't do that because you are still under the jurisdiction of your employer and their policies and procedures. And I know y'all are asking, wait, Bravo has a code of conduct. They've been had a code of conduct that they recently updated because of the reality TV reckoning. And all of the production companies were given these new policies and procedures. I know we're watching a reality show where they throw shade and they do all these antics. You are still in a work environment. They are still under the guise of law. All right. Thank you so much for the super chat. JW, thank you so much for the super chat. JW says Kelly's nose job may be because of her ex-husband. Well, we're going to talk about the Kelli of it all, because that was actually the fact that Kelli is so bubbly and it's such a light energy. You're like, damn, with all the stuff that she's been through, I know that's intentional and she talked about that, but the fact that she's able to do that and be such a light energy, I appreciate it. It's like, you've been through a lot, girl, and I feel like there's still a lot that you haven't even told us. Okay. All right, moving on. Let me get to Drew. So Drew's at home at Ralph. Ralph actually films a scene. Ralph gets a confessional with painted on hair. Here's the thing. I'm not going to take away, Ralph is a good looking man. But this is what I say. If I get to know someone's personality and their personality is the one of Ralph, you immediately look lame to me. And there's no more sexiness to you. Even if you were naked in front of me, I'd be like, you're weird. I can't even, no, I'm not interested anymore. Especially with your painted on hair. Should I tell my story about my painted on hair at one time? Well, my barber, hey, Johnny. He probably has never heard me tell this story, but I told this story multiple times on here. So back in the day when I had hair, okay, but I was, I was kind of losing it a little bit, whatever, genetics. So he was like, oh, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to try something different. Sprayed on the hair. It looks good though. I will say that. In my humble opinion, the hair looks good. Okay. So, but I decided I was going to go to the gym after that. And I'm working out. I'm getting my fitness on. Okay. But I'm sweating because I'm a sweater. Okay. Not a sweater, but a sweater. Okay. Why did the paint start to drip down my head? I went to the locker room like, oh, Lord. And this wasn't a gym where I could go take a shower and wash it out. Okay. I had to go home with the drippity drop on my head. Okay. I did it once. Yo, people want pictures of it. No, I did it once and I said, never again. Never again. Each time I said, are there pictures? No, unless they took pictures of me in the gym. Thankfully, no. Lord. It was like, I was like, this sucker is, I guess it's not waterproof. But this was years ago. Okay. So I'm sure now they've got better versions of it where it doesn't drip down your hair. But I haven't seen one person that looks good with it. It looks fake. It doesn't look good. And in 2025, I thought people got the memo to stop doing it. But I guess in Ralph's world, how many subscribers Ralph got now, y'all? Let's check. Let's check. Let's see how many subscribers Ralph has now. Ralph wait, hold on. Put this here. Ralph in the basement. Let's see. Let's see. Ralph in the basement. Wait, did he lose subscribers? Hold on. When Taria and Brooke were here, I pulled it up. Hold on. Oh, no, he gained some subscribers. I was like, wait a minute. So the other day when we looked on Friday, he was at 229 subscribers. Okay. Now Ralph is at 251. Okay, Ralph.
What is this, honey?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
All right. Fine, Ralph. Anyway. We get the scene with Drew and Drew's kids are adorable. And I feel for them because they're in the middle of this divorce. Okay. And I have to say, I don't know. It felt like, at least in this particular instance, the fact that Ralph was willing to film says to me, I'm like, is this real? Anyone else? I was sort of like, and Drew smiling the entire time. I was like, because again, with Drew, you just never know what's authentic. So she's having this conversation with him about, the information about the divorce coming out on social media and the kids seeing it. And then they talk about Drew calling him a narcissist. And then in the confessionals, production is asking her, what do you know the definition of a narcissist? She's like, no, let me look that up. Okay. Look, Drew, he's a narcissist. We all seen his behavior. He's the typical narcissist. Okay. But I don't know. In this scene, it felt forced. It felt pre-produced. I'm looking at Drew. Mind you, Drew's an actress. I'm looking at Drew just smiling at him. Again, I said something bad had to happen in this divorce for them being forced to communicate through an app. And Drew's like, oh, I think it's best that we kind of work together as opposed to the court. I'm sure it's better than what the court has allotted us. And he was like, no, I love it. I love the judgment that the court did. And then they do this like ATL crib scene with Ralph in the basement. So we go past that really quickly. Okay. And now we're with Kelli and Kenya. So Kelli and Kenya meet at Kenya's hair spa, which is great for Kenya. Is Kenya's hair spa open? Or when is it open? Because I haven't seen or heard anything about the spa since everything that went down. So I don't know what's going on with the spa. I'm asking. Okay. So they meet at her spa. So we get our first look at the spa, even though Kenya filmed at the spa last season and he never showed it. Okay. So we get to see a better idea of the spa. Kenya wants some advice from Kelli because, as you know, Kelli has opened up a couple of restaurants at this particular point. One has closed, but she's opened up a couple and she's about to open up another one. So she's asking Kelli for some advice, okay? But then Kenya points out that Kelly's there with security. And we're like, why does security look like her ex-husband, allegedly? We saw a picture, all right? So she's like, you have a mark and I have a mark. She didn't say the name, though. She spelled it out. So this is where we find out that Kelli was threatened. Can you imagine what Kelli, if this man threatened her in front of a judge and police, can you imagine what he did at home in front of those kids? I was like, ooh, this is scary. This is very, very, very scary. So this gives us another picture into what's going on with Kelli and the depth of what she was going through with her ex. And apparently her ex also wants to take control of her business because they started the business together. So now he wants the business. Okay. So Kenya then said, Kenya says that she's fearful. She really wants this hair spa to be successful. Kelli says, do you want to franchise it? And she's like, I do. And she says that she spent $400,000 launching this business. Because mind you, everything in here is brand new. This was not a salon before. So everything was built up in here. So she says she spent Brooklyn's college fund. I don't believe that. I think she said that, but I don't believe that she's done that. We just talked about the other day, though, Mark Daly. He owes like $400 and something thousand to this past landlord. So she can't get she's not getting money or support from him. She's supposed to, though. She's supposed to get like $3,000 a month from him in regards to support and money for Brooklyn's college fund. I don't know if he's late on those, but okay. So they talk about that. She said that she spent $400,000 on the spa, which a lot of people are saying, is this part of the reason why she was so desperate to make sure that it is a success? So she gets very emotional talking about this, and she's like, I need this to be successful. Okay. Again, I don't believe that she did spend that much money on I believe she spent that much money. I don't believe that she spent Brooklyn's college fund, but maybe she did. And if she did, is it open? And then again, it makes me look at Kenya like, so if this is such a big passion project for you, why would you make it about this other person? Yes, she made threats against you, but it still was not worth it to jeopardize this moment over this hooligan. Look, come on.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? It doesn't change how I feel about the Kenya situation. Why would you do that? If anything, that signifies for me the more importance to make this a fun. You could have made some fun shade and things like that, but you did not need to do that, in my opinion. Okay. Vicky says, I'm sure Kenya regrets it. I'm sure she does now. But okay. Jay, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Thank you. Know the Queen, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. You can't fight crime with crime. Kenya's not Batman. Oh, Lord. Especially not in a work environment. If this was on social media, it's one thing. Again, there's still the law, and you still can't go too far. But Houston Foodie, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. To me, the show is not hitting like it should. Yeah, we're talking about it. There's things to talk about, but I'm not excited talking about it. In my opinion, some of you are, and that's great. Please let me know, and let me know why you're excited. What's standing out to you? But me, so far, not really. Not Nick Cannon's hundreds child. Thank you for the super chat. I'm surprised Porsha knew what breaking the fourth wall meant. Well, she probably learned it from doing reality television. Okay. Breezy, thank you so much for the super chat. Breezy says Kenya retaliated after them not suspending Britt. Feels like Kenya is tired of being the villain even when she's genuine. She probably was at her wit's end. You can tell she was going through a lot by her crying to Kelli. Again, understandable. And I understand why she'd be frustrated with production and the network not doing something. But am I going to use my grand opening to come at this other person again, I'm thinking maybe years ago this probably would have been fine, but again, we're in a different age. No, this is not fine. I still wouldn't make my event about someone else. Red Juice, thank you so much for the super chat. Britt didn't threaten her with a pow pow pow. She said that she has a pow 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 in regards to walking outside of Bankhead. That's why Kelli said, "Where's Kenny?" as in protection for the neighborhood. Okay, you do realize what we all watched, right? It wasn't one time that she talked about her pow pow pow. We saw what she said. Britt, get your sisters off the off of there on burners in the light. But I appreciate the super chat, and an expensive super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. But no. We get it. But at the same time, that is definitely, as the TikTok fam are saying, a reach. Miss Kelly, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Kelly says, "Hi, Kempire. I really love Kelli and Kenya moment. I hate that we have to get this side of her after all these years. It was so sweet." They really had a really nice conversation. And Kelli on Watch What Happens Live. Kelli, I don't love the fashion. I gotta tell you what the things I like and the things I don't like. Kelli, the fashion's not fashioning for me. The premiere dress, some of the outfits I've already seen with you, but this is your kooky personality. I can appreciate kooky. But Mama Ali, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, "What does it say that I imagine Ralph's basement looking like the Wayne's World basement, including a Garth sitting next to him? Because he's a clown?" And he acts like a clown. Sharon, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Kenya Moore hair spot isn't open. Okay. Today it's not open. I think it's only open certain days of the week, though. But is it open on those days of the week? I'm asking. Writer, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Let me shimmy. Sorry. I'm a little sore. Yesterday I did a little bit of a chest workout, so I'm a little sore. Writer says, "Hi, Kempire. When I first saw this, I thought it must be more to the story between Britt and Kenya. But now seeing how Kenya was nice when she saw Britt again, I'm starting to believe that this might be all in Britt's head." Agreed. I think we all were like, because we heard what may have transpired when everything went down. And I was like, we're going to have to wait and see. But again, I'm so surprised that production is laying out the story the way that it is, because this doesn't make you guys look good. But maybe they're doing that intention, but like, guys, we're even throwing ourselves under the bus. Teach, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Let me shimmy $20. Ooh. Teach says, "I have this conspiracy theory that housewives perform and allow antics at their special events to ensure that the event is aired during the show. The more the dramatics, the higher the chance that they show it." Teach, that is what we've been saying. If you saw any of our coverage in regards to this Kenya stuff, I said, remember last season, they were supposed to show Kenya Moore hair spot and they ended up not showing it. And I said maybe she was desperate to make sure that this hair spot event would be shown this year by these antics. I still stand by that. King, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. King says, "Kenya should have been doing a weekly recap from her spa. Learn from Candy." Agreed. Even if she didn't even do it from the spa, she could be doing it from her home. She should be talking. Why not? It's not too late. Ariana, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Do y'all think producer amped Britt up? I wouldn't be surprised. But again, how could they get you so amped up when there really wasn't anything there? I can understand if there were things that have happened. Again, this is all in Britt's head. And maybe her husband is amping her up. Because remember, you see how her husband has gotten between Britt and her sisters. Maybe her husband was amping her up. What in the Kim Zolciak? Why was the husband always there? Why is he ready out there and picking her up? And she, okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to it. All right, so that was a really nice scene between Kenya and Kelli. Britt, speaking of Britt, so she has dinner with her sister. She's been estranged from her sister for a while. And there's apparently some issues with Britt's sister and Britt's mom. And she's like, oh, I probably blocked her this week. Some of you can relate to blocking family members. Fine. All right. But then they talk about her sister feeling like Britt has put her on the back burner since she's been married. Okay. And Britt is like, I don't want you to feel like that. And Cher says that Mike is always around, even when they're trying to have like a sister conversation. So Britt tries to make it nice. He's like, well, if you just want to have a conversation with me, you just have to let me know. No, Mike should be able to let you have that conversation. You're with your sister. It sounds like she's in a situation with Mike where he sounds very controlling. Sounds like he's a helicopter parent, but he's not a parent. It sounds like a weird situation. It makes me wonder, like, what are those dynamics? But at this particular point, I really don't care. And then we hear her phone going off multiple times. And she's like, I know you don't want to hear this, but that's Mike blowing me up. And I got to go. So this whole conversation that you were having seems like it was there was no reason for it. Because you're going back into the same behavior. Why can't you go out to dinner? Mind you, you're filming. So it's not like you're really out to dinner and you're really enjoying your dinner. You're filming with your sister and Mike is still blowing you up. Was he outside waiting? Why? It's not like production doesn't provide transportation for them if they're out drinking and whatnot. It sounds like you don't trust her, Mike, for whatever reason. But I thought that was so annoying. And for me, it completely just overshadowed the conversation that they were trying to have on trying being better sisters. There's no way you can be better sisters if it's the same situation. Now we understand. You just proved Cher's issue. The issue is your ex. Was that foreshadowing? Your husband. Okay. All right, moving on. Again, a lot happened in this one scene, but we were in this one scene and then we're off to the next. Okay, we get the scene with Drew in the studio with Dennis. They play Chicago Slide. This is before it became Chicago Slide, and we get to see Drew talk about things that's going on with her and Porsha. And Drew says that Dennis says that everything with Porsha and them working together was cool. Now, all of a sudden, it's not cool. I don't know who to believe in this situation because, look, Drew lies, Porsha lies. I think Dennis lies. So I don't know who to believe. But I honestly, wrap this storyline up. Wrap it up. We already know, based off these interviews that Porsha's done, Porsha doesn't care anymore. Wrap it up. Okay? We don't care. Just make the music. I'd much rather us talk about the music. So then we get into Drew going into the booth and performing the song. Okay, she sounds great. The album is great. Here we go. This is her storyline. Nothing else is really going on of significance. All right. Moving on from there, we have Angela's Black Excellence dinner where she told everyone to wear black, but Kenya Moore shows up. Kenya did this intentionally. Kenya said on social media she didn't read the invite. Kenya did this intentionally, okay? Because Kenya wanted to have a moment. Kenya wanted to stand out. Normally, this would be a huge deal for the host, but you see how cool Angela is? She was just like, it was in the invite, but she didn't make a big deal about it. She didn't do a whole confessional about it. She didn't make a big issue about it. She moved on. Angela, it seems like she's there to have a good time. She's not really trying to have fights with all these women. Again, she's a Taurus. We're not people that like to have conflict, okay? But we will. Look. So you could tell that Angela's just like, fine. Is Bankhead that bad? Because everyone kept on mentioning Bankhead. But the event space seemed luxurious. She gave them, I don't know if it was champagne or wine. She gave them Black Excellence, a bottle and a gift box of. Angela did that, but you know we're Tauruses. We know how to host. Okay, we know how to throw an event, and she threw a really nice event with good food. I mean, it was in Bankhead. But it was still a nice space. Like when I first saw it, the edit was weird when they first introduced it because it was sort of like they opened up the vault and then you see Angela like zoomed in coming. I was like, okay, that was a weird edit. Okay. K-Shaft says Bankhead is the hood, but they have this nice event in Bankhead, the bank. If you want to host your event, it's probably cheap to host it there. Remember, they're only given like a small stipend to host events. The rest of it, they have to pay for it themselves. So Angela hosts a really, I mean, first of all, it looked beautiful. The event. Elle says yes, but it's being gentrified. Okay. All right. Dina says the decor was cheap. It's in Bankhead. I think she hosted a nice event. To me, it looked great. I wasn't really picking apart everything in the event. The event space looked grand. It looked nice. They all came in and they seemed to be impressed, even though it's Bankhead. All right. All right. Toya says, I'm sure the rent is low because of where it's located. All right. Anyway. Wait, hold on. Where's that comment? Where's the comment? Oh, the real Danae? Dan says, whoever is editing this season needs to be fired. Go back to the original way. I mean, you can elevate the editing, but it's giving weird this season. From the confessionals to the transitions, it's weird. Pageant Mommy says, clearly Angela didn't put in her money. Hold on. Lankita says, the bank is not cheap. It didn't look cheap to me, but everyone has a difference of opinion. Everyone's taste is different. The event looked nice enough. It looked like the ladies enjoyed the food. All right. Shamea comes in. Well, first of all, Kenya comes in not in black. The only person not in black. Okay. Are we surprised? Not really. So everyone arrives. Shamea arrives, and Shamea already is coming in apologetic. She comes in with the olive branch, and she says, I want to apologize. I should never made fun of your physical appearance. That's not who I am. And Angela could have been petty. Angela could have been, but we already knew Angela was over it. And she was just like, girl, it's okay. I love that. Again, she wasn't trying to drag something out like Britt over nothing. Britt is dragging something over nothing. Britt, no one talked about your nose in multiple confessionals. And you see how quickly these two Tauruses moved on? Okay. Darren says the event was elegant and nice. That's what it looked. Again, I didn't attend it. All we could do is see it. And it looked nice enough. Okay. It's definitely giving better than what we've seen some of these folks host on other cities. Okay. But okay. So, what else happened in here? Oh, so when Kenya arrives and she hugs Britt's already making a big deal because Britt's just like, that was a pat, not really a hug. And Kenya was like, okay, why would she hug you? She doesn't know you that well. At least she gave you a hug. She's like, I don't want to get your makeup on me or my makeup on you. I'm not going to make a big deal of a pat, especially when there has not been an issue. There has not been an issue. Okay. So, Britt points out that that was a pat, not a hug. All right. Shamea apologizes with an olive branch to Angela. Angela's open to that. Okay. Then Kelli talks about her event and how some people did not buy anything. And then she looks at Drew. Do you guys think that was tacky of Kelli to bring that up? I don't think that it was tacky. I think it's tacky if someone came to an event where you're supposed to buy stuff in order to give to charity and you don't. But Drew, I have to say this, Drew responded very quickly. She said, I didn't buy anything for myself, but I bought a jacket for my son. And she says that she didn't see Drew leave with anything. Drew pulls out her receipts, not really a receipt because she doesn't show a transaction. She only shows a conversation with one of the sales associates. Do I think Drew bought anything? I don't know. I think Drew, who came out with her own receipts on Sheree, seems to be more like Sheree than not. But I do find it interesting that she was able to come out with a response very quickly. If you came out with a response very quickly, says to me that maybe there is some truth to it. Maybe. Unless you really didn't get it. I'm sure at the reunion, Kelli will have more receipts. Foxy says Kelli can be messy, but I like it. Patricia says it's still in her cart. I don't know. It will be interesting to see and again, this is very typical Housewives. You come to a charity and you don't pay or you didn't participate, people are going to call you out. But it will be interesting to find out if, I mean, couldn't Kelli find out because she hosted the event? Did you know how many people bought stuff? Maybe. Someone says that Kelli didn't need to do that, but I like her. I mean, I think she needed to do that because if she really felt like someone came to our charity event and they didn't do it, I'm sure production's like, well, call it out during the scene. Remember, they're coaxed to do some of this stuff too. But personally, if I hosted an event that was supposed to be charitable and you came and you had the hors d'oeuvres and you had the food and you filmed, the least you could do is buy something. The least you could do is buy something. Something. It didn't have to necessarily be $2,000, but something. I don't know what you're buying in Balmain for cheap, but I don't know. Vicky says, I mean, why do they go to an event and buy anything? Well, that was the premise of this particular event. You're going to buy, and then a portion of what you buy goes to charity. Pageant Mommy says it was good for TV. Yeah, it's very typical Housewives, but some people are over the typical Housewives stuff, but fine. To me, I just took it like that. Hold on. Someone said, Sap says on Watch What Happens Live, Kelli said that there was no purchase. Oh, so she doubled down. Look, we don't really know Kelli to be a liar, but we do know that Drew likes to tell, as Cynthia Bailey would say, to tell a fib or two. Damn, Drew. Why? And look, I think Drew was desperate to film. Anytime she could film. Remember, this is the same person that Porsha accused of trying to film with her baby's daddy, trying to film a Go Naked hair commercial without permission from the Go Naked hair corporate department. I didn't get a call in my office at Go Naked HR. I didn't get any clearances for that. Okay, I just want to just say that. Okay. K Black says on TikTok that Drew is always getting called out. And I feel like there is some truth to it. Not some truth. I think there's a lot of truth to it. I just have whiplash though, because I do feel like we're having a lie off this season. There are so many liars. Just lying. Okay. All right. Wait, hold on. Foxy says Drew told another lie. What a surprise.
Lies, the lie.
Y'all need to leave Drew alone. She has a new album out. Myra, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Myra says, I don't condone what Kenya did to Britt, but Britt is ridiculous, especially the way Kenya hugged her. Britt, go to Love and Hip Hop. Yeah, so because I don't watch or recap that, so you can go there if they'll have you. But she also is not very interesting. Like every week, it's like I was a video vixen. Okay. And even the girls over there at Love and Hip Hop got personality. All right. Jocelyn, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support and for being a member. She says Britt's husband seems controlling and weird. Yeah, that's the vibe that we're getting. Gadget, thank you, Gadget Girl. Thank you so much for the super chat. Gadget Girl says Britt has lost herself in that man. Am I shocked? Not really. Keith, thank you for being a member and for the super chat. Keith says liars always got a fast answer at Drew. Is it true? Maybe that's why I don't understand, because I'm not a liar. Because I was like, she got that answer real quick, which made me believe like, oh well, maybe it's the truth. Damn, she got me. But showing a text message ain't receipts. For all we know, the text could have been an inquiry for a discount. Why y'all doing my girl Drew like? Look, my girl, my girl Drew like that. Lee, I think this is how you pronounce it. Lee B says, Kempire, Drew has to give you some coin for this promo. Laughing out loud. I listened to the album. I actually really like it because of you. Okay. And Dennis even sent me a DM saying thank you for the support. And I said, look, you're welcome. You know, I'm just being honest. All right. Okay. Moving on. Okay. I'm taking a drink break, but today's live show is also sponsored by our friends over at Factor Meals. Of course, on a busy Monday, Factor Meals always comes in handy. They have all kinds of meal preferences from keto to protein plus to calorie smart. And you can get a chef crafted, dietitian approved meal in just 2 minutes. More importantly, and for those that are trying to lose weight on their keto plan, based off a randomized clinical trial, you can lose up to 8 pounds. And of course, results will vary based on diet and exercise. But if you've been trying to lose weight and you've been trying to get into maybe the keto way of life, this is a cool way of doing it. So eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/Kempire50off and use code Kempire50off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code Kempire50off at factormeals.com/Kempire50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. More information on Factor Meals will be available in the description. Okay. All right. Look, Kat says, I love Factor. Me too, girl. Look, especially 2 minutes and you get a quality meal. I love it. And you can lose some pounds. Why not? Give it a try, guys. Head on over to the description for more details on Factor and everything else. Danae says, Drew's album is good for real, Kempire. I listened because of you. It's pronounced the real real Danny Dan. Thank you so much, Danny. Appreciate it. All right, moving on because we're not getting any more promo. They're going to have to pay us for that promo. Okay, with over 4,000 people watching. What's going on, Team Twirl? Y'all back over here? Team Twirl, y'all back over here? I'm kidding. All right. I mean, we didn't do it. Well, look, we're not doing bad. When we talk about Potomac and all the other girls, we don't got this many people in here. So, well, some of y'all say y'all don't watch the show. Y'all watch my recaps. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe. All right. Before we get into the rest of what went down at this Black Excellence party that Angela was throwing, I am going to drop the call-in link for our members first. I almost forgot to do that. So let me do that now for our members. Please and hold. All right. And be sure to check out everything that you may have missed over the weekend, guys, as well, because we had quite a few stories that we covered, including some more Tamar versus everybody updates. All right. So if you're a Royal Court member and Senior Royal, I'm dropping the call link for you first. So let me just do that here. And Team Kempire members, I will be dropping the call in link for you guys shortly. Okay. All right. And shout out to our King's Guards in the live chat. We appreciate them as well. But so for all of you, be sure to say thank you to them as well. Know the Queen, thank you so much for the super chat. Know the Queen says, Drew said that she bought a $2,000 blazer, but I don't see any kids items over $800. Oh, well, maybe her son's not that tall. Maybe it was exclusive to the store. I don't know. Ty, thank you so much for the super chat. Ty says Britt has gotten by with her looks and has not developed a personality. Justice for Ken. Mark voice. Oh, Lord. All right. Moving on. Sage says, I'm a twirl. Queen D says, let's get those likes up. 4,000 watching and not even 2,000 likes. Well, Queen, guess what? I'm not dropping that call. You're a member, so you'll get the call and link. But I'm not dropping the call and link unless we have over 2,000 likes. How could you be here and you don't like the video? You've been here for over an hour. But all right, let's move on. Let me get to the rest of what plays out. So we already get that little bit of an interaction between Kenya and Britt. That was weird. Fine. Okay. So they end up playing. Oh, Shamea. Speaking of weird, Shamea ends up playing her song. She's like, I want to play my song for you guys. So she plays the song and Porsha gives weird energy. Porsha is just like, that's Drew. That's Drew's voice. And Shamea's like, no, that's my voice. You know my voice. We've been best friends since high school. We used to even sing together. And Porsha's just like, oh, it was such a weirdo energy. It was hateration energy. I was just like, Porsha, what is the issue? Is the issue that your friend is also a housewife on the show? Is it because your friend actually has the storyline that you were hoping to have this season? Is the issue because production is probably trying to play you two against each other? Or is it the issue that you've always been weird and jealous of Shamea from years ago? Go back and watch season 9. I'm surprised that they even became friends again after season 9. Maybe they weren't as close, but everyone, including Angela, who just had beef with Shamea, she was the one to even ask Shamea about what's been going on with her. You didn't even ask that. Everyone is celebrating your friend's song, and you're sitting there like a hater for no reason, and you're her best friend since high school. Best friend since high school, and you are like, that's Drew. Why would you even say that? Why would Shamea be playing Drew's song? That doesn't make sense. When she said, I want to play a song for you guys. Why would that be Drew? It was weird. It was such weird hater energy. Especially coming from someone that's supposed to be her best friend. So everyone's grooving to the song, and Porsha's body language and the words that she was saying were just the complete opposite of what the energy was. It was very much like a dark cloud. Everyone is dancing and having a good time to the song. And here comes Porsha. You know when you see a storm pulling in and you see the dark clouds and you hear the thunder and then all of a sudden you get the lightning? That's Porsha. That's what Porsha was giving. Soraya says, and she kept repeating it multiple times when her friend is telling her, it's me, it's my new song. Aisha says it was weird and low-key mean. Not even low-key mean. It was straight up mean. It's one thing at the beginning, you're like, oh, that's you? But no, it's like she was being intentional about that. But I already told y'all, those cancers. I already told you about those cancers. Haters. Sorry, cancers. But not sorry. Sin, thank you so much for the super chat. Sin says, Jesse Wood said it was Ming Lee who dropped the tea to Kenya about Britt. She even made the posters. Apparently, Britt sabotaged Ming not getting her peach. Because that was a rumor that Ming Lee was supposed to be getting, well, not getting, she was testing. You saw Ming was also at the Balmain event as well. That was the word on the street. And Ming is friends with Shamea and friends with Porsha as well. She's also friends with Candy. So I wouldn't be surprised. Thank you, Sin, for the super chat and for letting us know. I wouldn't be surprised. So it was Ming who went to the Staples and had the poor Staples staff print that out. Lord, is that harassment to the Staples staff? Lord, Jocelyn, thank you so much for the super chat. Jocelyn says she's mad because her song Flatlined actually flatlined. Yeah, that was a bad song. Let's not even bring that up. Okay. Hold on. What is oh, Nelly says we're haters and petty too. At least you know it. Oh, Jay says cancer's haters to 100th power. Damn. All right. Okay, we're gonna move on. Oh wait, Jessica says, listen, my moon is Aries, so I'm not mad about the Cancer shade. I get it. I mean, look, that's why it's important to know people's rising and their moon sign, because it really sometimes brings a balance out to other parts of your personality. That's why I think that's why I'm balanced the way that I am. I have my Taurus sun, my Leo moon, and my Cancer rising. So I get it, Cancers, but I don't get it. Okay. All right, moving on. All right, so Shamea plays a song. Porsha acts weird. Don't get it. Don't understand it. It's definitely giving hater energy. Unnecessary hater energy. And I remind you, you're watching an edited show. Maybe there was more that played out that we didn't see between Shamea and Porsha. Regardless, though, that is your friend off of the show. SS says that Shamea didn't even tell Porsha about the song. Well, I don't think that's a big deal. It's not like it's a whole album rollout. She's playing the song for the group for the first time. But yeah, Porsha did not hear the song before this moment. All right. Then they decide to play a game. Okay. And part of the game, they ask, they're writing down questions about each other. And then the person has to, read the question that it's about. So Shamea is asked, what did you do after you got your Rolls Royce? Like, what did you give Gerald? And basically, Shamea does what Shamea does, and the editing is so weird. The editing is not even Love and Hip Hop, because we say a lot about Love and Hip Hop, but the editing for Love and Hip Hop is not the best. But this season of Atlanta's editing is giving, I'm editing this myself, like me, an amateur editor kind of thing. Okay. And shout out to the editing team over there at Truly Original. I'm guessing it's some new people. I don't get it, because we've seen them edit other places and on other shows. Okay. So Shamea shows what she did, including with the mouth and the booty. Okay. Okay. Then Angela is asked about inviting people into her relationship, and she denies ever being into threesomes and things like that. And then Porsha then says, "Oh, I've heard," insinuates like she's heard something. And here's the thing. Porsha was so mad at Kelli for asking about what we all saw and what we all were thinking. And now you're insinuating something about someone's husband? Like, this is why people don't trust you around their men, okay? Because you're dangerous. You feel like what other people have going on is not as important to what you have going on. You expect people to treat you one way, and you can treat them whatever way you want. It's giving very spoiled brat. And I'm not surprised. We see how you treat your own best friend. Are we surprised that you would be like, "Oh, I've heard some stuff about Charles"? We've heard a whole lot about Simon Gobadia, your estranged husband. Have they deported him yet? That's a rumor on the street. Like, it just feels weird that you can insinuate something like that and people can't talk about your stuff. That feels hypocritical. All right, so I told you by the end of the season she's gonna block me. It's okay. I don't care. Y'all also know I wasn't begging to be unblocked either. Okay. Ms. Parker says Porsha's was going hard with the hateration. So she makes that insinuation, and Angela's like, "What you hear?" We heard, Angela, that Charles had a side baby that you told Wendy Williams. I don't know what Porsha was insinuating, but that's what we heard this week. We're asking, clean it up, okay? Shout out to everyone on our TikTok. We appreciate you guys. TikTok, keep tapping your screens and check out our TikTok shop to see some of my skincare. All right, and my lip balm. Look, my lip balm. Please hold as I put this. If you are a member of the channel, I have dropped the call link for you guys. I'm going to drop the call link now for our Team Kempire members as well. Live chat, once we get to 2,000 likes, I will drop the call link for you guys as well. And if you're watching on YouTube and you're not following me on TikTok and you want to check out my TikTok shop, and you want to try my lip balm, go check that out. All right. All right. Where was I? Okay. So they're playing this game, and I believe Britt wrote this question herself. Anyone else? I don't, unless production slipped this in there, because I don't see anyone in this group that interested in this question. So she says, "Can Kenya speak to Britt kindly?" And I was thinking to myself, you wrote that yourself. You wrote that yourself. Because I just don't see anyone in this group being that interested, unless it was production. That would be the only folks that I could see doing that. But I believe that Britt wrote that herself. Can Kenya say something, speak kindly to Kenya? So Kenya's sort of like, I can, but all right. And then it turns into like a heated conversation, and Kenya's just like, yeah, you want, oh no, Britt says that Kenya wants to have a moment, and Kenya was like, I am the moment. Oh shoot. Anyone else also enjoy the back and forth between Porsha and Kenya? There were a few little cute, funny, but that's why I said in this episode, I have to say there were a few moments with Porsha because Kenya at one particular point showed her panties. If she had some panties on, I don't know, because Porsha was like, her vajayjay is big. What? She said her vajayjay is so big it's gonna eat up the food off the table. I was like, what the hell? I was like, okay. So back to the Britt and the Kenya of it all. It leads to the sort of like back and forth, unnecessary back and forth. And Britt's like, you just trying to have a moment. And then Kenya was like, I am the moment, boo. But it doesn't stop there. So it continues on. They're leaving the table and Britt is still talking. Kenya is not even replying to her anymore. Even when Kenya and Porsha are leaving, Portia's like, yeah, she's doing a little too much. Porsha, mind you, Porsha doesn't even get along with Kenya like that. Yes, they're in a good place, but they're not besties. She's like, yeah, she's doing a little too much. And she keeps going. And she's trying to call that man, Mike. She's trying to call him, but she's still talking. And she's talking about Kenya. She's like, I don't do that. I still got my pistol and and she's still going. Mind you, Kenya's not saying anything. She's not engaging with this woman anymore. And she's still going. And Britt might blame editing, but what we saw, Kenya was not even engaging. She engaged with you at the table and then she was done. And Kenya's energy, I know people didn't believe Kenya when she said that she was actually legitimately scared. Go back to that scene. I really felt like Kenya was scared. And maybe because Mike was also there. We end up seeing Mike come, and this woman is talking about a pow, pow, pow. And Kenya, I don't know if Kenya's car wasn't there, but Kenya did not want to wait in that parking lot. So she ends up jumping in the back seat of Porsha's car. So I believe that Kenya was legitimately frightened. Like, this woman keeps talking, and she's first of all, why are you still yelling? Why are you arguing with the wall at this particular point? She's just like, oh, F all these cameras. F all these cameras. I still got my whips and my pistols and my... And mind you, it's not even just saying fun shade or just F all these cameras, I don't mess with... She's talking about weapons. Britt is talking about weapons, and her husband's with her. And she's talking about these weapons. And she thought, F all these cameras. And I know Kenya is good with keeping a straight face, but her body language to me was telling that she was actually frightened. And this is why I'm completely shocked that Britt wasn't suspended. We don't know if she was suspended or not, but the fact that Britt is still here and Kenya is not is kind of strange to me. But I also don't blame Kenya for not feeling comfortable filming with this woman going further. I'm not justifying what Kenya did at her hair spa, but I still feel like I would not. There's so many housewives like, I'm no longer filming with her. No, in this particular instance, I would not be filming with you anymore. You're threatening me with whips and chains and pistols and stuff like that, and your husband is always around. Nope. And now people are talking about his alleged shakiness. Nope. I'm not filming with you anymore. No. I don't blame her. Right, Jay says, you could tell Kempire and our HR people at heart. Yeah, because Jay, how could they? I don't understand how Britt was able to keep her job. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. Based on what, and again, when we deal with stuff in HR, a lot of times we don't have video footage to back up people's claims. That is the difficult part for people in human resources to handle someone telling a story later on. Production, HR department has film. They have footage proving that. They have footage to prove like, oh wait, they have the footage that we didn't even see footage. So we know what transpired completely. Well, they know what transpired completely from beginning to end. And yet we still decided to move forward with Britt? This is 3 weeks in. We didn't have to move forward with Britt. Sailor says shade, not threats. Are we watching the same show? Those were threats. That's not shade. We have to understand that the difference between threats and shade. That was threats. Multiple. It wasn't even like she just said it one time. Just saying. Pageant Mommy says, I have pulled tapes, emails, and calls in HR. But again, this is a particular situation where everything is being filmed. The footage is there. Can you imagine what we did not see? And again, I don't know if Kenya drove herself to this event, but Kenya seemed as if she was looking for her car. She seemed frazzled. Again, this is in no way justifying Kenya's response. And I know what some of you will say, you can't justify someone's response. Yes, you can in a work environment. Why am I yelling? In a work environment, yes, you can. In these streets is another thing. But in a work environment, yes, you can. This is a work environment. I know we're watching it for our entertainment. But at the same time, when talking about a work environment, I also can't go to work talking about pistols and threatening whips and all kinds of stuff. You get in trouble, you get written up, you get suspended. Some places, zero tolerance, you get fired. After an investigation, of course. After an investigation. All right. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Don't forget, we will be recapping The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, part 1 of the reunion this week. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to turn on your notifications. If you're not getting notifications, try turning them off, turning them back on, or follow us on X, Blue Sky, Threads. I'm trying to post when I'm going live there more consistently on the other platforms as well. Excuse me. I agree with this. Lance says, Kempire, why did production and Britt lie over the alleged pow 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 threat for months? I'm sick to my stomach. Well, let me bring that up because I brought my receipts too. Hold on. Let me bring my receipts. Hold on. I got my little, hold on. Because you remember we covered this at length in regards to Britt's accusations. So back when this all played out, Britt posted on social media, shout out to the Neighborhood Talk. Britt posted on social media, it's never a good feeling. Hold on. It's never a good feeling being targeted or hazed by someone I thought would embrace me into a new circle that I never met. For the record, I've never once had possession of any weapons or threatened anyone ever.
Lies! The lies!
She said this on her social media. And remember, she posted some of this stuff and deleted it. She says that I've never once had possession of any weapon or threatened anyone ever. I've never been to jail in a fight or even had as much as a speeding ticket. What about your husband? That's not in my character. I am hurt by the narrative that's being displayed. Wrong is wrong. These words are going to haunt you, Britt. These words are going to haunt you.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Girl, you lied. You lied. You clearly, maybe you didn't have it in your possession, even though you claim that you did. But you also said you didn't threaten. You threatened multiple times. Right? Elle says RHOA is the season of liars. I don't like that for us. I don't like that for us. So this was back when the incident happened. Gene says, haunted by the hot mic. They've been doing a lot of hot mic moments because even when Kenya was driving away, they still had the audio of Kenya and Porsha talking about stuff, about what was playing out. I really believe that Kenya got in the back of that car because she was actually scared. Remember, it wasn't just Britt making those claims. Her husband was also there, and he got a screw face, so I don't trust him either. And God only knows what they found out about the husband, because y'all have been finding out things about the alleged things about the husband and mentioning it. And the thing is, too, because people feel the way that they feel about Kenya, they were immediately ready to believe that she was hazing this woman because of what we've seen of Kenya over the years. But based on what we've seen this season, that was not it. You can't tell me what she said at Shamea's birthday party 3 weeks before is still bothering this woman. Come on. Now that's shade versus a threat. There is a difference. All right. All right, that's it. I'm going to get to some callers because we have a jam-packed stage, okay? Live chat, I will drop the call link for you guys once we get to 2,000 likes, but we don't need it. Our members are holding us strong backstage. Don't forget, at 4 p.m. Eastern, we will be recapping Married to Medicine Reunion Part 2. I have so much to say, so much to say. I might have to sit down for that live because there's just so much I need to say. All right, Miss Bernice is the first person backstage. Before we bring Miss Bernice up, I'm just going to remind you guys the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of the Kempire LLC, myself, or our sponsors. They agree to obey to the timer and also not to make derogatory comments or to use profanity, okay? And if you are backstage, once you've made your point, please drop out so that other people can call in because there is a limit, okay? All right. Let's bring up Miss Bernice first. Hold on, Miss Bernice. Miss Bernice, you're first.
Woo!
What's going on?
Hey, what up, though? Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
All right. I just want to let you know, you can be twins to the Pistons head coach, JB Wickersham. This picture, y'all got the dimples,
Oh.
the beard, and the mustache.
Is he single? No.
Yes. You know that. That child threatened Kenya more than once,
Mm-hmm.
and production wasn't there to protect Kenya.
Yeah.
I took that threat seriously
Me too.
because she's not stable and her husband is not stable.
Mm.
Production, because I think Kenya got dropped off.
Mm.
And she said her car wasn't there when they got outside.
Yeah.
That's why she was looking around real scared, like, how I'm going to get out of here?
Mm-hmm.
I got to go. And I'm glad that she was able to ride with Porsha to get out of there. But she was shook.
Mm-hmm. She seemed like it.
And you don't play like that. You don't play like that. I don't play like that. Because when I used to go out and somebody said they got a gun, got to go.
Right.
Because when they start shooting, that bullet it got no direction. Okay.
Yeah. I don't play like that.
No, I don't play that. I don't like that she wasn't reprimanded and Kenya was reprimanded because both of them should have been reprimanded, especially with this situation.
I mean, dare I say, if they had reprimanded and intervened early on, it wouldn't have transpired to the whole hair spot event.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Exactly.
All right, Miss Bernice, as always, we appreciate you calling in.
Yes, and I will be back at 4 because I got a lot of things to say about that too.
Me too. Bye.
Okay, bye.
All right, we have Nia backstage. We're going to bring Nia up next. Nia, what's going on?
Hey, I had to get up here while I was on my walk because I was like, I have a lot I have to say.
Okay.
So I do feel like Kenya was threatened. I don't feel like it was shade or anything like that.
Yeah.
I really am concerned because the way Britt escalates stuff so quickly is concerning. And that's probably what she does with her family. Can you imagine, even with like her sister? So there's probably more to the story on why her sister left her. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, we have to be careful. We cannot take gun threats lightly because let's be honest, if somebody was to hear somebody had a gun in the club, everybody would run out. Like, so let's not act
I like you just the mention of makes me want to run.
Exactly, because people nowadays, especially with these guns, it happens so easily nowadays. It's scary. You never know how fast stuff can escalate. So the fact that they showed this, I was scared, and Kenya was scared. She even told Drew to come outside and speak to her.
Yes.
She wouldn't speak to Drew right there beside the girl. And she kept saying things, and she was right beside her. So another thing, but that's all I had to say.
Thanks, Nia.
You have a nice day, okay?
You too. The other thing that I'll mention, and we'll get to the rest of the callers, we also think in mind too, not only is Kenya thinking about herself, she has a daughter. She can't rely on that man. We just did a story on that man being broke and he barely ends in Brooklyn's life. So she has to, it's different when you're a parent. I'm not a parent, but I know that it's different once you're a parent. Like, you really are concerned about your own health, your own well-being. So there's just another layer of things. All right, let me get to the rest of these callers. Cynthia's backstage. Cynthia, what did you want to say?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
How are you?
I'm fine, Kempire. This week's episode was good. You touched on Kempire. You are an HR expert. I know, wherever you're working at, you have to maintain professionalism at all times. So I really, really do get that. I understand that. Yeah. I do understand that. Coming from a June Cancer and Kempire, I do not support Porsha is cancer reality TV. We're not the same. Also, where Britt came in a little too strong. I think she was one of the moment. She was doing too much. And Kenya did look scared, because normally I was surprised that she wasn't going back and forth with Britt as well. She didn't engage with her at all. So, I mean, it is what it is. I do believe that she should be able to participate in confessionals, and hopefully she'll come to the reunion.
Yeah, definitely.
But other than that, that's all I have to say. But it was a good episode.
Thanks, Cynthia.
You're welcome, Kempire. Have a good day.
Bye. I still love my cancers. I just, sometimes when y'all show yourselves. Well, sidebar, I'm pretty sure if they have not done it already, I know Candy's been busy. Kenya has to be doing a speak on it. She did one with Shamea. Candy, get the mic. Come on, Jamie, where you at? I was watching season 9 where Porsha ran down that whole... That's a mess. Where's the speak on it? Come on now. Let's get it. All right. It's time, Kenya. It's time to buckle up. Let's sit down for a conversation. Sage is backstage. We're going to bring Sage up next. Sage, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
This caught me off guard. I saw Kenya, and just like you, I'm very empathic, and just looking at her, I saw her discomfort. I felt like anxious for her in that moment, and I could only imagine being in a situation where it's already heated, you're already on one, and then someone's talking about a pew pew pew. So I could only imagine her mindset in that moment, and just like she just seemed so frazzled, and she's not the one to kind of run away from a situation, but in that moment I really empathized with her. And Britt, I'm tired of her already. She needs to do something about this nasal breathing, this open mouth breathing. Like, she needs to go see an ENT. I'm tired of this nasally thing. I'm a speech therapist. I sit here and I'm hyper analyzing every time she speaks, because I cannot with that nasality. It's driving me off the wall. But that's all I have to say, and I'll be back for Married to Medicine, because Greg is a mess.
I know. We're going to have like 17,000 people in that chat. All right. Bye, Sage.
Thank you.
All right. Judgy Justice is backstage. Hold on, Judgy Justice. What's going on? There we go. Judgy Justice. There we go.
Hey.
Hey.
So what I wanted to say is that there is something that should be studied about, like, these high school video vixens from that time period, because she reminds me of like Erica Mena, with like how like overly dramatic she is, and how she wants to take it there to physical violence every time. So I'm thinking that there must be something psychologically that stopped at like that high school age that wants to just fight. I'm not trying to give her an excuse, because you should go to jail for threatening people like that. But I just, that was just my thought piece on it, was just that there has to be correlation, because she's not the only person I've seen that was a video vixen of that period in high school, doing this in 16 years old, dancing and I'm in love with a stripper. Like, whose parent would sign up for that? Well, thank you, Kempire. I'll go. Bye.
Thank you so much, Judgy Justice. All right. Okay. Let's bring up Sharon next. Sharon, Miss Sharon, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Well, we're set for the Final Four.
Okay. I did see the headline for that. Who are we? Who's in there?
Okay, it's the University of Houston. It's also, it's University of Florida. Tennessee. And there's another one, isn't it? Auburn.
Oh, okay. Who are we rooting
Yes,
for?
we're anybody that's in the SEC. So I'm basically going for Florida.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this was almost an SEC conference tournament. Alabama lost. And if Alabama would have won, it would have been an SEC tournament.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. So they are doing big things. And one of the reasons why Missouri got into the SEC and the SEC took them was because they were good in basketball. But Missouri hasn't been good in basketball for years. But hopefully they'll go back to the tournament next year.
Okay. All right. Thank you
Yeah.
for our March Madness update.
Yeah, I just had to let you in on that. And I did catch that show, and HR got it wrong. They should have pulled that Brit woman as soon as she threatened Kenya, because that was a threat.
Okay.
But that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Sharon. We appreciate it for your KSPN
Bye-bye.
update. Bye. KSPN update for March Madness. Okay. Some people said, oh, wait. Dell says that Duke is in, Tennessee is out. Damn, I was going to root for Tennessee. All right. So who am I rooting for then? Florida? No, I can't root for Florida. Sorry, Florida. All right. We have Noda Queen backstage. We're going to bring Noda Queen up next. Noda Queen, what did you want to share? Noda Queen, we can't hear you.
Hello.
There we go. Hello.
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I got a few things. So I'm gonna try to be quick.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, Ralph apologizing to Drew only to prove that he's not a narcissist is such a narcissistic thing to do.
Oh.
That just frustrated my spirit so much when he did that.
Mm-hmm.
And I really felt bad for Shamea because you could tell she really just wanted Portia to be supportive. Like the girl could have faked it. She could have just been quiet and that would have been better. And then all
Mm-hmm.
that, like her singing just to prove that she was singing, it upset me. Um, and I do agree that Kenya was vindicated, not because she was right in how she retaliated, but because they were both wrong, but they weren't treated equally in their wrongdoing. Like
Okay.
you said earlier, if Britt was properly dealt with after the fact, then it likely wouldn't have escalated to where it did. Because what Britt did was a threat to everyone there. That is dangerous. Everybody with a gun ain't a marksman. So just because you're pointing it at somebody don't mean it's going to go to them. She was in Portia's car threatening her. That's
Yeah.
a problem for me as Portia or Drew or anybody else around. So yeah,
Everybody.
that's all I had to say. Yeah, everybody.
Noda
But
Queen,
that's all
thank
I
you
had
so
to say.
much.
You have a good one.
You too. Noda Queen brings up a good point. Like I've said before, if you go back to, I've talked, because I was covering the whole Tamar stuff, so I had to watch an old video, and I talked about just because the threat is not directed at you, if other people in this work environment feel threatened because of what you're doing to someone else, now it becomes a problem for everybody. Just saying. All right. Okay, we have Elijah backstage. We're gonna bring Elijah up next. Elijah, what did you want to share?
What I wanted to say was, that in my personal opinion, I feel like, a lot of people went to lengths to defend Britt over the whole situation, but what we've seen tonight, I feel like it did sort of vindicate Kenya. You know what I mean? It did prove that what she was saying, and I'm like appalled that on this type of show, this is the type of behavior that they're allowing, and they kept her. Like this is like, low gutter snipe behavior. You know what I mean? That's low in the gutter, especially for someone that only brings nasal congestion and teeth. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I'm not really understanding why they kept her over Kenya. And then not only that, like you can see Kenya trying to diffuse it and like move away from it, but she, Britt kept on, kept on, kept on, and then Mike was there too, and he seems like he was also willing to do something too, and he was getting pretty upset too over nothing really. So honestly, I think that they need to reevaluate, and I'm hoping that Kenya gets her chance to speak her piece, honestly. And I think the show could move forward with her, but I think that, production has to make a decision. And I feel like, them not prioritizing Kenya, especially her being a veteran, to me proves, kind of what Kenya's been saying these past years.
Thanks, Elijah. You know what that also proves to me, though, and this just proves the point that I've been saying, that remember when Kenya did the interview with Carlos, and I told you guys, I was like, it don't look like Bravo wants to bring Kenya back, especially the way she was talking in that interview. And then according to multiple sources that have confirmed to me that she originally was not in the front running, allegedly, to come back this season. Because of changes in the casting is part of the reason why Kenya ended up coming back. But in regards to what Elijah says, to me, it just says to you Kenya's relationship with the network. It says to you her relationship with production. Just saying. All right. Tanya's backstage. We're going to bring Tanya up next. Tanya, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kim, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Happy Monday. I am sneaking out from a training to talk to you. Anyways, I have my index card ready.
Go ahead.
So, Shamea has a beautiful voice. And side note, yesterday I was out in Atlanta and the DJ gave a huge shout out to Drew Sidora's new album. I was flustered. Great for Drew. Porsha is a jealous hater. You have to watch out for people who take the opportunity to embarrass you in a group. They've been dying to do it secretly. Drew and Ralph do not give me the impression that they are getting divorced for real. That conversation was giving very much rehearsed. I understand Kenya's fear in building a new business, and that made me see her in a different light. And Britt's sister coming onto TV to say that she basically stopped having a brain when she got married is such a true testament to a lot of women who lack individuality. And the way that he was proving the sister's point right then and there, I think that's all that needs to be said. And then Britt was honestly so pressed to get a response for Kenya, and then when she got one, she fired back with with threats of physical harm. She needs to be fired. And bravo, if they don't do anything to reprimand her about this, then at this point, I think I might have to hang up Atlanta because I'm not liking what I'm hearing. There's no reason why you need to bring a gun to a shade fight, girl. Bye.
Yeah. Tanya, though, what would HR say about you coming out of a training to call us?
They would say that this is a hard worker and give her a second chance.
I know that's
I'm
right. Tanya,
I'll be back at 4.
I know
Bye.
that's right. It's like F that job. I don't know what it is. I think everyone's back in the office, but we've had so many people call in and they're at work or they're in a meeting or I appreciate it, y'all. Look, I appreciate you taking time out. That means that we're doing a good job over here. I don't want y'all to lose y'all job though. So prioritize, okay? But sneak. All right. I won't call you out like that again, Tanya. All right, Toya's backstage. Toya, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How you doing?
I'm good. I just want to say that I have never been a fan of Kenya Moore because I've always thought that she was a mean girl, but I do think that her divorce and her daughter really softened her up. With that being said, Britt is dead wrong in this. I mean, if you can't take a little shade, there's no reason to hold this grudge for 3 weeks. We've seen her consistently talk about it. Kenya hugged her. We know Kenya does not hug people if she doesn't like them. She will not be fake. And as a dark-skinned woman, I can tell you, yes, we do worry about getting our makeup on people. It happens all the time.
Yeah, please don't get your makeup on me.
But Britt, like nothing in that conversation or that argument warranted Britt to mention a pow pow and whips and chains. Girl, what? And I do think Kenya was scared. But really, bravo. Why would you keep this newbie after 3 weeks and she says this? This is ridiculous. Also, Porsha is nobody's friend, and Ming Lee would have been a great addition. Ming Lee has a successful salon, and her and Kenya could have really given Kenya real good advice.
Yeah. And Ming Lee's going to be on Love and Hip Hop.
No, she's going to be on Basketball Wives because she's dating Ty Young.
Oh, yeah. I knew it was one of those shows, VH1 shows. Yeah, Basketball Wives with Ty. All right. Thanks,
and
Toy.
she's a real self-made millionaire.
All right.
Okay.
I love to see it. All right.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. The only thing that has me concerned with Ming is that it looks like she's been gunning to be on reality television because you were gunning to be on this show. It didn't work out with this show, so now you're on another reality show. Yes, you might be a self-made millionaire, but it seems like you're more interested in fame, and that never makes good reality television. So, yeah. Thank you, TikTok, for 15,000 likes. Keep tapping your screens, guys. We are talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you're part of our replay crew, we haven't forgotten about you. Be sure to let us know your rating for this week's episode and your thoughts and opinions on the different things that we've talked about during this recap. All right. Thank you so much for the 2,000 likes live chat. So I'm going to drop the calling for you guys, but doesn't mean I'm going to get to everyone because I got to get off of here at the latest 3 o'clock because I need to rewatch Married to Medicine, at least the last 20 minutes because there's so much that was said and we need to talk about, okay? And I was watching Sweet Tea's recap, or not recap, her interview with Dr. Simone. At Home with Elodie, thank you so much for the super chat. They say Shamea is who Porsha thought she was supposed to be. Yeah, she hates her for it. That's sad. You don't want jealous friends around you. Shamea, this might be your save. This might save your life, basically, not having this level of jealousy around you. Dr. Miss Honey, thank you so much for the super chat. The evil eye is real. Shamea shouldn't have a hating friend. We're just saying to have a hating friend in her circle. Also, I log into my 2 YouTube accounts so I can like it twice. Do better, people. Thank you, Miss Honey. See, that's a real friend right there, Dr. Miss Honey. I appreciate that. I don't even do that for myself. J.I., thank you so much for the super chat. J.I. says, Kenya got what she deserved. Oh. Kenya pulled chairs from under Kim Fields. Damn, we're going back, huh? Threatened to slap pregnant Phaedra and put props in Porsha's face. Britt gave Kenya the same vile energy she's given to others. Damn, Jay. I don't know why I'm surprised because we know when Jay says it's a super chat, it's going to be hot. Danielle, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Danielle says, I know Kenya is not perfect by far, but this is Housewives. You got to be able to handle shade. Sorry, Britt. Not to mention, it seems like she was fixated on Kenya. That I really did not expect. I thought something else happened leading up to this. What we've seen, there was nothing else. It was an imagined beef in Britt's head. Demi, thank you so much for the super chat. Demi, you have such a beautiful smile. I like teeth. Divi says, Whip sounds like a seriously violent person. Yes. HG, thank you so much for the super chat. HG says, it feels like Britt had a motive to beef with Kenya. That's what it's giving. That's definitely what it's giving. Barry, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Barry says, I called it as a member of Team Twirl. I knew Kenya had to have been provoked to go as far as she did, even if it was wrong. Producers let Kenya take all the backlash knowing she was threatened. I mean, you're right. I'm not going to argue with you. Keith, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Another super chat. Kenya is the victim here, but she wasn't afraid enough to not invite Britt to her salon to then display her. She should have went to HR like Britt. Who says that she didn't? And again, do you really need to go to HR if the company leadership and management is there filming this and Andy Cohen gets the updates on what's happening during filming? They have a responsibility. They are mandatory reporters. Just saying. Okay. Barry says, leave us cancers out this mess. Okay, look, I have a Cancer rising, so I do like Cancer, so I feel like I can judge. Okay. Kat, thank you so much for the super chat. Kat says, I've never been, I love how you guys put your disclaimer. I've never been a fan of Kenya and her antics throughout the years. Lord knows she's been awful. But wow, Britt is the problem. I don't see it for the girl. Kenya's going to go across this damn timeline and in an interview say, see, I'm always vindicated. I'm always vindicated. Breezy, thank you so much for the super chat. Breezy says Britt couldn't even respond with witty shade. I don't think she's equipped. Just violence. Hashtag whack is giving fan of the show. Thought Kenya was an easy target. I don't know why she would think that. Sharon, thank you so much. And mind you, Britt ends up in a bad place with the other women this season, including Shamea. Shamea alleges that Britt had comments about her child. I was like, Sharon, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Yes, Tennessee is out. Duke is in the Final Four. Thank you, Miss Sharon. We appreciate you making a correction on the record. Tish, thank you so much for another super chat. Tish says, shout out to everyone at work. I am in a meeting again. Hence why I'm not calling in, but I'm still listening. I mean, F that job. I mean, look, not F that job because you won't be able to send in super chats. Tasman says, thank you for the super chat, Tasman, and for being a member. Kemp, I do my Mondays from home specifically so I could be here with the mess. Play your schedule around the mess. I appreciate it. And plus, it's a Monday. Who wants to go into the office after the weekend on a Monday? Queen, thank you so much for the super chat. Queen says, I am in a mandatory Microsoft cybersecurity training from my job, but I have to listen to Captain Kempire speak on it. Damn, a cybersecurity training? Is it good? You probably should be paying attention to that, madam. Clearly, it's Janae. Thank you so much for the super chat. Fun fact, Ming Lee also dated Rick Ross. Who hasn't he dated in Atlanta? I would never want to date someone that has dated everybody. I get it. People have a past, but if your past involves a lot of people that know each other, no. Kat, thank you so much for another super chat. Let me shimmy for the $20. If you want to shimmy, you got to $20 me. I'm a cheap hoe. Kat says, sending a super chat as a non-hater Cancer with a Leo moon. I love you, Kempire. Thank you. I liked Porsha, but that was actually nasty work. Shaking my head. I never thought I'd see the day that I'd be Team Kenya, but we can do without Britt's quote triggers. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Kat, for the super chat. We appreciate it. Alma, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. I feel scared for Kenya. Truly not okay. Her body language told me everything that I need to know. I was like, no, she legit is scared. I'd probably be legit scared too. And your husband's over there and I don't know this man? Okay. Nash says, got out of my meeting. Do these people not know we have Kempire at this time on a Monday? They probably don't. It's lunchtime too. Come on now. Yes, happy Eid. Almost forgot, Asata. Happy Eid. All right, we have a long line. I'm going to really try and get to everyone. Everyone, please respect the timer so we can get to everyone. It's a long line. All right. I'm not surprised. Okay. Tyler's backstage. Tyler, what's going on? What did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Let
Hey.
me say this. And I hate to say this when referring to black people because I'm black, but just being honest, I got a ghetto vibe from Britt from the day one. When you couldn't even pronounce the type of jewelry that you had on, it was ill fitted. I was like, why is she here? You need to be on WAGs or something like that. I don't know, or Real Scammers of Atlanta. I just was not feeling her. And let me say this. Kenya does have a past. Do not get me wrong. However, the producers of The Real Housewives of Atlanta have never been fair to Kenya or Nene. That's why I hated when they both were beefing because they're better together. Because those are two powerful black women, so they're always going to get the bad end of the stick no matter what goes on. When Nene's husband was going through cancer and all that, it was like they were personally pitting people against her. Same thing when Kenya didn't share that she was getting married. We all know why she didn't share that because they would have found some way for everyone to come on there and attack her and what would be her happiest moment. Let's be real. That's why Nene and Kenya should have never beefed because those producers have never seen it for them.
All
But
right.
Britt should go.
Oh,
that's all.
Thanks, Tyler. All right, we have Winter backstage. We're going to bring Winter up next. Winter, when's your birthday?
April 3rd. Act like y'all know. April 3rd. Yes, coming up. So I'm at work too, but don't tell nobody. But about Kenya, that scene where her and Kelly, which I found out isn't Kelly a Aries? It makes sense. That's why I was like, I
No, she's
really like
not. She's
her.
a Pisces.
Oh, so then I don't like her. But anyways, so yeah. Hold up. So I was just like, her spot is so beautiful. It was really good to see Kenya in that business mode. Like I really felt her when she was like, I put my daughter's college money into this and I really need this to work. It was such a beautiful scene. And it really made me feel like, oh my God, we still need Kenya on the show. Now about the dinner, when Portia just could not support her friend, I just was like, girl, she's literally telling you to shh. Can you just shut up for 1 second? Like just I was like, it's not funny. Like it was very distasteful. And I was like, she ain't nobody's friend. She is for self. And I don't know how Shamea didn't see that years ago. Britt took it really far. I've never saw Kenya look that like intimidated. She definitely looked uncomfortable. She definitely rushed into that car. That's all I had to say.
Yeah.
And go back to work.
All right, bye, Winter. Happy early birthday. All right, Austin's backstage. We'll bring Austin up next. Austin, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Well, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. So I just wanted to say that, what's her name? Shamea. She triggered me. I'm sorry. Portia triggered me with that Shamea at the dinner. because I had a friend like Porsha before who was like a hater, and because life is lived forward but understood backwards, I just hope that Shamea is in a place where she can see Porsha for who she truly is, because she's not her friend.
Yeah.
And I hate that. And us Tauruses, we're really genuine and loyal, and we stick up for people, and we just we're great people, and we deserve that in return.
Yep.
And she's not getting that from Porsha, and she really deserves it.
Yeah.
I think we'll see, but from what I've seen so far from Shamea, she's been solid except for the
Watch
Angela thing.
watch
But,
season 9.
oh yeah. But other than that, I like Britt. I mean, I'm sorry, I like Kelli, but Britt, she needs to go on the first 48 or something like that. I'm not sure. She's too dangerous. Too dangerous. But that's all I had to say. Have a good day.
You too, Austin. Take care. It's about to be our season. It's about to be our season. All right, Josie's backstage. We're gonna bring Josie up next. Josie, what did you want to share?
Oh damn, it's my turn. Okay, so to be honest, when Bravo say, "Oh, we don't support violence," at this point they do support it. Just say it. So at least we wouldn't come for you. We already know what you stand for, because there's no way a woman would try to somebody to like shoot somebody with a pop. I'm in Canada. We don't do that here. Like, I don't know where you guys be getting the gun from, but we don't do that here. That's like a police report. So I feel for Kenya, because I feel like every single time they're trying to make Kenya a villain, and I think like she knew about that, and she was trying to target Kenya, think she's gonna get away with it. I mean, where she did, but like it's just not fair that every single time Kenya is always like getting their back repped. She's not the best person, but in this case, she was actually vindicated in a sense. And for Portia, when she came to like her and Simon's marriage, about how she was saying that, oh, she was going to ask the others, because you were asking about it last week. I'm from the tribe as well. So it's essentially when you and your spouses are having like marital problems or whatever, you go to like the families, like the elders of the family. Technically they come, you guys sit down and bring the issue to the table, and then they can figure out what the root of the issue is. And like, let's say it was like a business that was causing the problem, they will add, okay, do your business separately, do your business, like just try to get rid of the problem, you know what I mean? But in this case, Simon's been married multiple times. What do you want him to say? Like, he's gonna get a new wife. So like, they don't have anything to say.
So they're just
again.
like, we're
Yeah, you're like the sixth wife or fourth wife. I don't know. Like, at that point, there's no point in saying anything. Just deal with it at that point, I guess.
you bring up a very valid point. Thank you so much, Josie, for calling in. All right, we have Miss Brooklyn Star backstage. Hold on a second, Miss Brooklyn Star. Got an itchy nose, like everything's happening. Sorry, I had to put a charger on in regards to our TikTok fam. Shout out to everyone watching on TikTok. We appreciate you guys. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch and Twitter as well. Shout out to those of you watching on Facebook, and of course, our biggest community here on YouTube. But you guys should follow us on other platforms. I was live on Instagram over the weekend. I'm live on TikTok all the time. So make sure you guys are following us everywhere, because you just never know. You never know. TikTok was banned a couple of months ago, so just make sure you're following us everywhere, okay? All right, let's bring up Miss Brooklyn Star. Miss Brooklyn Star, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
Good. I was going to say that Portia in her heart has a lot of envy, and she covers other people's blessings. And we know at this point she doesn't have a limit on how she will attain her own blessings. And I just really think it's time to cut that friendship off. She's too envious to be your pure friend.
Yeah.
As an unwavering member of Team Twirl, I knew Kenya wasn't lying. Not that it was right, but she said that, she did it because she was threatened. And here's the thing. I don't think per se that Kenya was scared of Britt. I think she was scared being there by herself. Britt and her men are giving Kim and Croy 2.0. And Kenya is licensed to carry her weapons in her car. And I feel like Bravo needs to stop letting people bring husbands to work. If they're not required for a scene, that is kind of intimidating. Leave them at home. Like, I just hate that fact. Her husband's right there. Like, does she not have a license? Like, why is her husband always there? If he's not paid, if he's not in a scene, leave him at home. It's getting ridiculous at that point, but that's all.
All right. Thanks so much, Brooklyn Star. We have Shasha backstage. We're going to bring Shasha up next. Shasha, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. So I have some notes. So I'm going to make this quick.
Perfect.
Britt came in hot, and I'm going to make a lot of references to Potomac because that's the only one that I really watch in full.
Okay.
Britt came in hot. She reminds me of NECA when NECA came in. How you can tell she was gunning directly for like that one person. And again, we all thought there was something that was missing. Maybe that was something that was edited out, but apparently not. She's just
Sasha? We can't hear you now, Sasha. Sasha, we lost you. All right. Maybe she had a call coming. All right, Sasha, call back in. Angel, we're going to bring you up next. Angel, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Oh,
Hey.
let me put myself on Do Not Disturb so my boss does not bother me.
Oh.
Okay. I had to switch my team so nobody calls. Okay, so mine is kind of quick. I think Britt has like some mental issues, and I'm not defending her at all. But I think between herself and her husband, there might be some type of trauma bond or something going on there because he's always hovering around her. She doesn't drive herself anywhere from what I can see. It's kind of giving me Dr. G vibes, but I'll call back later for that when we talk about Married to Medicine. But I think that the way her sisters have no communication with her or rare, or how she was talking to his sister for 5 minutes. Like if she disappears for more than 5 minutes, he's like way too hard on her line. So there's something weird going on with that besides like his other criminal stuff. So that's it about Britt. And then the way you were promoting Drew's album on TikTok, it slaps. So I think Dennis needs to give you more than just a thank you. He needs to drop something in your Cash App or something because you were playing that thing so hard on Saturday. It made me give it a second listen. So that's it.
Thanks, Angel. Bye. Honestly, I don't need them sending me money because then no. If you want a sponsored post, that's a different thing. But no. All right, let's try Sasha again. Sasha, are you there?
Jeez, people keep calling me. Sorry.
That's what I figured. Go ahead.
Okay. So what I was saying was I'm disappointed a little in Kenya. Like she wasn't right for what she did, but I'm a little disappointed that she allowed a newbie to make her step off her pedestal like that. Like I get it. She wanted some like drama at her salon opening, but still I feel like she could have did something that wasn't going to get her kicked off the show. Everybody knows revenge porn is illegal.
Yeah.
But I feel like she could have did something else. Kenya has she has a way with words. So I feel like Kenya could have dragged that girl the whole season and then came back and dragged her again during the reunion. So I definitely am a little disappointed in Kenya. They both should have been fired. Again, related to Potomac, this is similar to when the fight happened in Miami with Mia and how producers, you can clearly tell they took a side. So it sucks that, again, that they sat there and Kenya, quote unquote, quit. Both of them should have been let go after this whole thing, after the quote unquote investigation that they did. So, I mean, I look forward to watching what happens like this next episode and seeing what really goes down and looking to see like the ladies tear Brick a new one. So yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Sasha. All right, let's bring up Lee next. Lee, what did you want to share? Oh wait, hold on, Lee. There you go. Lee, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
I'm doing good. I just have a few thoughts. I am liking the new, I guess you want to call it half reboot. I am liking it. I do like the girls, but I agree with the other callers. It just kind of seems like Brittany, what's the word? She has some things going on, and I'm not a psychologist, so I don't know. But she's trying to make it seem like Kenya was antagonizing her, when the whole time it's actually the opposite. You are antagonizing Kenya. And I am no twirl at all, but yeah, right is right and wrong is wrong, and I think she was wrong for doing that. Now, do I think that the answer to gun violence is revenge porn? No. So it's I think both of them needed to go to HR, to be honest. And that's pretty much just how I feel. I'm like, these wrongs did not make it any better. It kind of made it worse. Like every single scene is like they're making it worse and worse and worse, when really it could have just been a sit down conversation between them two.
All right, Lee, thank you so much for calling in.
All right,
bye.
See you soon. Bye. All
right, Demi's backstage. We're gonna bring Demi up next. Demi, what's going on?
Oh, I'm wonderful, and thank you for the lovely compliment about my gorgeous teeth.
You're welcome.
No, thank you very much. Okay, so I feel like people's triggers are for them to manage alone, not for me to have to kind of always worry about when the bomb's gonna go off around me. I can be respectful of your triggers, but I'm not gonna So if she has some tick tick boom booms with her, that's not for Kenya to have to worry about. Also, I think Kenya quickly realized that this person isn't working with a full set of cards. This is why she kind of just shut down after a moment. But I think she's also used to dealing with women that can't read. Like, yeah, I'm throwing slight shade. Like, I respect everyone at the table. And she's like, no, I mean me. I mean me. Like that, so aggressive. You're not really looking for understanding. And you're a very irrational person. I used to feel like I wanted her to still make an appearance on the reunion, but I don't want her to have to do that. Because there's nothing. I've seen enough to know that this person is violent, and that you yourself were also provoked by her. So I don't think she needs to make an appearance. I do kind of want her to get her own special, but I don't think she needs to be at the reunion. I think Britt needs to go. Have a good one.
Thanks so much, Timmy. All right. Let me just say thank you. We had a couple of super chats. Nelly, thank you so much for the super chat. Nelly says, apologies, my fellow cancers, for saying we're haters and petty. From my experience, I've met haters. We're sensitive too. Nelly also sent another oh, wait, is this the same one? Okay, no, this is the same one. Oh, did you send it twice, Nelly? Thank you so much for the super chat. T, thank you so much for the super chat. T says, I believe Kenya did go to the higher ups, but they failed her. Remember, she said that she didn't feel protected, so she took matters in her own hands. # Team Twirl. I mean, I would be interested to know if she did speak to them after this incident and they did nothing. I mean, that sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen. And loss in wages and whatnot. People be peopling. Thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, wait, let me shimmy. Okay. People be people says, I'm in a work meeting, but I too never saw it for Kenya. The chair pulling with Kim solidified it for me, but she's an Aquarius who we hold grudges. It was probably some old Hollywood beef. Britt went left out of nowhere. It's giving unhinged. It is. It's like, I'm like, are we missing something? Because I don't see it. Okay. All right. Let me get to these last couple of callers. Well, more than couple. So callers, please respect the timer. We're going to bring up Anthony next. Anthony, what's going on?
Hey everyone, Anthony from Los Angeles, California. How are you, Kempire?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thanks. So I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10. Lord, next week's episode is Kenya's last and the season finale of White Lotus. I'm not ready at all. Okay, so the fact that Ralph got confessionals and Kenya didn't get a single one so far is beyond. This is a two-sided beef, and all we're seeing is one side, which is Britt's. She's really is giving obsessed because of this. We don't see Kenya talking about Britt in her own scenes, her own confessionals, so it's all on Britt's mouth on her side. I am on Team Toro, but I know what Kenya did was out of line. But hey, they're bringing back Phaedra after spreading a great rumor that was talked about all season long. So bravo, just disrespectful and just messy. So goodbye. But thank you so much, Kempire. Have a good one.
You too, Anthony. Take care.
Like.
All right, thanks. And you still have 15 seconds. All right, we're gonna bring up Pageant Mommy next. Pageant Mommy, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Hey. So I'm going to come approach this from an HR perspective.
And we appreciate it.
And I know that everybody, they're just watching it for amusement, which is what we all do. What we all do. It's entertainment, but it's work for these people. And so, it is work, which means the same rules apply and the same laws apply. And in terms of production, knew or should have known. I mean, do they need to obviously take their sexual harassment prevention training again? Because under sexual harassment prevention, work harassment falls under that, right? So looking at the timeline, she definitely was the aggressor in that moment. So she should have been suspended or addressed, reprimanded. Kenya's behavior should have been, both are wrong, right? And they should both have been reprimanded. And if Kenya did go to HR and that was the resolve, then if I were her employment attorney, I would definitely say, maybe she did get some kind of severance or something. We don't know. Yeah. I just want to also say to other people, perhaps investigations are taking place and you just don't know.
Yeah. You're not supposed to know.
And you know how that goes too, but it is a workplace. So, and it's their responsibility to keep their employees safe. Have a great one.
You too. Thanks, Pageant Mommy. I love our HR professionals when they call in. Shout out to the HR professionals that chime in the replay crew as well. Be sure to share your thoughts because I think a lot of Bravo fans get caught up like, well, you can't tell people how to respond. You are in a work environment, people. You can't do this at your workplace. Okay. All right. Michael's backstage. We'll bring Michael up next. Michael, what's going on?
Okay, hey Kempire.
Hey.
All right. In all seriousness, I want to say that I believe very strongly, and I have evidence for this, that this was set up by production. Like, and this is how I know. Okay, so after the incident happened, that was real and that was organic, but they picked sides and then went on a media campaign to try to curate a narrative that this was all on Kenya. How do I know? During the investigation, they were not supposed to talk. Kenya was then silenced from really being able to speak on her side. That's why she kept saying, when you watch the show, it's going to be vindicated. While at the same time, production was leaking audio and video to YouTubers that they partner with to give them and have them spread the narrative that Kenya's some horrible person that just attacked this newbie with, this graphic material. I like I said, I have digital receipts to prove it because shall I continue?
No, you should not continue because you are a legal liability. DM me that information. Thank you,
please,
Michael.
I will.
Okay.
But that's why I was going to ask if I could send it to you.
Yes, please do. Thank you so much,
okay,
Michael.
and I'm going to see you at 4.
Bye.
Okay.
All right. Jamie's backstage. We're going to bring Jamie up next. Jamie, what's going on?
Peace and blessings, Kempire.
You too.
Good to see you as always.
You too.
So I'll start with the good. I don't mind Angela and Kelly so far. Okay. The bad of it all. I'm really, as someone who grew up in Atlanta, a lot of people are transplants, right? From other places, but we live in Georgia. I'm more upset that they're having dinner in the bank, in Bankhead. And if you know, you know, Bankhead is hood, okay? It's not safe. Instead of having like lunch or dinner at Chateau Elan in Hamilton Mill. Like what is going on? Like this low brow Brittany girl, I'm sorry, there's no excuse for her to be talking to Kenya like that. It wasn't warranted. A lot of us are not fans of Kenya. I don't think Kenya was scared. She's from Detroit and she's Aquarius. She's not scared. We ain't never scared, like we say in Atlanta. But I just think that Kenya was trying to be classy, right? This girl is unhinged. Brittany has to go. Production, they need to do better in Atlanta. The representation of women is low. Do you have better producers in your Kempire family and in your comments? Do they need a name reference? Casting directors? I'll look it up because I can name you 3 to 5 women off cuff who would be better on this show. Do better, production. Jesus.
Ooh.
Love you, Kempire.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Jamie. Bye. Jamie is coming for y'all next, production. And I know y'all watch. Hey, production. All right. Vanna's backstage. We're going to bring Vanna up next. Vanna, what did you want to share? Vanna?
First off, Bravo do not protect Black women.
Ooh.
And that's a given. It's been a given since with Candace and Monique and so on and so forth. Bravo, they don't protect Black women. And so that's my whole issue with them. I do feel like dealing with Porsha and the Phaedra and so on and so forth, I kind of feel like it's very suspect to me, the fact that you can have Phaedra back and you're not gonna like really step on like what needs to be done. And that's the issue for me. Because I feel like for you to have Phaedra back and she hasn't said nothing about that whole incident, that's a whole issue for me. Bravo does not protect Black women.
Okay.
That's it. And it's really sad. It's like even watching Married to Medicine yesterday, it's just sad. It's just like y'all don't protect Black women. And so where do we go from here?
Thanks, Vanna. All right. I did. Speaking of Candace, I wanted to bring up what she said last night on social media. Candace posted this. Candace, formerly of Real Housewives of Potomac, said in a tweet, "They always want to try and humble you when you're smarter than them, and they're show ponies. Kenya deserves better. That's all I'm gonna say about it." Mm. All right, let's get to these last couple of callers. We will be back at 4 p.m. Eastern, maybe a little bit later than that, because y'all see what time we're still here. How many hours later? We're 2.5 hours later, and we're talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you're not subscribed, you should subscribe so you don't miss out on our community posts when we go live, when we have breaking news. And we don't just talk about The Real Housewives here on the channel. We talk about everything in pop culture. So be sure to check out some of the things that you may have missed over the last couple of weeks. And don't forget, you can hear an audio version of our live recaps on the Kempire podcast. Speaking of the Kempire podcast, join our Apple Podcast subscription, Club Kempire, if you've been wanting to hear my thoughts on the latest episodes of The White Lotus. You can also hear the Kempire After Dark New York City show exclusively there right now. Join today. I believe you still have till the 1st, till tomorrow, to get a free 3-day trial. So nab your free 3-day trial today. Head on over. Our mods will be posting links in the live chat, but there are also links available in the description. All right, let's bring Chrissy up next. Chrissy, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you. So, I have a quick question. Was Britt the one who had the scene with her sister?
Yes.
Okay, so that's weird. Why can't a woman have a private conversation with her sister without her husband being there? That's very weird. Okay.
Yep.
And I feel like Britt knew who to like attack in the way that she attacked Kenya, because I do feel like if Britt had said that to Porsha or Shamea, I think it would have really went even more left, because Porsha, she don't play like that. I do think Porsha would have told her to pull it out. Let me see it. And I do feel like there's something going on between Britt and her marriage, because there's no way that someone can ask you about your ring, even though Kenya did, it was a little shady about it. There's no way that someone could just ask you, "Where's your second ring?" and you get so upset about that. Do you not see how Angela did not even overreact when Porsha was shading her marriage to her face?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I have to say.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks, Chrissy. The other thing, I think if Britt made those accusations against like a Porsha, they probably would have fired her. I'm telling you, that tells you the way that production and the network view Kenya. Just saying. TS is backstage. We're gonna bring TS next. TS, what's going on? TS, I can't hear you. TS. TS. Do me a favor, drop out and call back in, TS. We have another caller right behind you. We're going to bring up Jaseline. Jaseline, what did you want to share about the Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hey, Kemp. I'm so glad you're still on. I had to drop out for a meeting, and I wanted to just hurry up to get back on here. As I was going to say, I've been in behavioral health for over 20 years, and what I see are two women who have been traumatized. And their response was based on the triggers that they were experiencing in that situation. And I think people have to understand, and I think your community does, that Kenya doesn't know this woman. And this woman is saying that she's calling her husband and she overhears the word gun, pow pow, sorry, pow pow. She's overhearing these things. She doesn't know this woman. And like other people said, what's going on in society, that's not anything to play with. And I just saw someone who was very triggered. I'm sure she felt very alone. She did not have anyone with her in terms of a male. And this person is calling her husband in the parking lot with her husband. She also doesn't know her husband. And so I just see it as a situation where both people were triggered for different reasons. But Kenya was obviously triggered and wanted to get out of that situation. She was also, like people have said, not engaging like we've seen Kenya engage before. So I'm glad that this came out, and I hope that people are extending some grace in the situation, because both women obviously could benefit from getting some mental health care on these triggers.
All right. Thank you, Jocelyn.
Thank you.
Bye. All right. TS, we're going to bring up next. Before we bring TS, I did want to highlight this. Tamia says, please just remember that Dennis said that she was in Nigeria eating food from regards to Porsha. As a Nigerian, I was gagged. What a stray. This when he had his scene with Drew. This is probably part of the reason why Porsha does not want Dennis filming, because she knows that even though they're good, he still will shade the hell out of her on the show. She knows that she can't control him and what he says. Truth is Trouble. Thank you so much for the super chat. Truth is Trouble says, when Britt said I wanted to get money with my sisters when talking about pursuing a career in insurance, told me all I needed to know. She is unserious, unprofessional, and a scammer. Ooh. I mean, there are a lot of signs of things. TS, what did you want to share?
Can you hear me, Kempire?
Yes, now I can.
Okay. So what I wanted to say really quick, I'm team no one. Like when Kenya's right, she's right. And when she's wrong, she's wrong. But the thing I didn't like about Brittany, you could tell she was waiting for a moment because it just didn't make sense. And you could tell that she's a fan of the show, even how when she kept saying, oh, Kenya keeps picking at me. She keeps picking. Picking what? Production didn't even show anything. So I don't understand that. Also, you could tell she's not articulate enough to go back and forth and do a good read. She had to resort to gun violence, which makes no sense. She must have thought she was talking to Porsha. Portia's the one that gets violent on the show. Like, King has never been like the one to want to fight or get up and be in someone's face all crazy. She'll just assassinate you with her words. But yeah, Brittany just feels like she wants a moment, and I don't get why she was so pressed about the ring thing. It wasn't even that serious to begin with. Even the hug, like, everyone doesn't have to hug you. Relax. I don't know. She's giving real love in hip hop and Zeus baddies. I think she's on the wrong show.
Thanks, TS. Take care. All right. Perfect timing. All right, y'all. On that note, I want to say, first of all, thank you to everyone that called in. Shout out to those of you watching on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and of course, our larger community here on YouTube. If you follow me on the other platforms, meaning like X or Twitch, and you're not following me on YouTube, go subscribe. You're missing out on a lot. We go live here, but we also have longer form content. For those that are watching on TikTok, again, make sure you're subscribed to me on YouTube and vice versa, because we are doing different things on different platforms. Thank you to our King's Guards. We could not do this without them, especially when we have 4,000 people watching on probably like 5,000 when you add it all together, watching on multiple platforms. So be sure to thank them. And of course, thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat, a Cash App, a Venmo, a PayPal, a Zelle. We appreciate all of that support. And sidebar, okay, I'll talk about this in my White Lotus recap. When that man in the bed with Lori was saying, maybe you can send it via Zelle, I was like, we'll talk about it with our Club Kempire baddies on our Apple subscription. More information on that is available in the description. All right. Anyway, that's it, y'all. I will see you at 4 p.m. Eastern for our Married to Medicine recap. We have a lot more to talk about there. If you haven't liked the video already, what are you doing? If you haven't shared the video, if you haven't subscribed, what are you doing? Future MD, I hope you really are going to be a future MD. Keep us posted. Future MD, thank you so much for the super chat. It's always telling when a woman has a hard time keeping female friends. Also, I'm a Cancer moon and Cancer sun and Leo rising, but I'm not like these reality cancers. We'll be the judge of that. No, I'm playing. All right, y'all. Right, Theo? That was so fun. We'll talk about it on our Discord. If you're a Club Kempire baddie, be sure to make sure you join the Discord. There's a special link in the description of our White Lotus recaps so that you can join. Right now, it's just me and the mods chit-chatting in there. All right. Thank you so much for the super chat, Future MD. Thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat. Thank you to everyone that liked the video. We have over 3,000 people still watching. You could still like the video. You've been here for 2.5 hours. Okay? Just saying. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. I'll talk to you guys later.